Hey everybody, welcome to the Save Point Show. I'm your host at 6.7, always followed with
Titchery.
Your Pandora.
Big Castle 143.
And happy Sunday, guys. We are back on track, back on our regular schedule. Welcome, guys. Let me adjust my camera just a little bit there. There we go. How are you guys doing today? How are you guys doing?
We're doing well.
Good. I'm doing
fun of you.
Making fun of me. Oh, you know exactly when I mute you guys, don't you?
Yeah.
Because I'll sit there with like, okay, here we go. Where's my? And I'll have this totally blank stare on my face, won't I?
Yeah.
No, you pegged us off.
Yeah.
What?
You sure did.
You pegged us off.
Right before the show started. We saw it. Little of this.
I didn't. Did I really do that? Well, if I did that, that was totally unintentional.
It was subconscious.
Well, anyways,
So he says it was subconscious. Yeah, I think it's more than that.
Okay. Oh man. Well, it's good to be back. It feels right being back on Sunday, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I think we had a nice week and a nice weekend as well too. So, how you guys doing?
A lot of big news this week.
I'm sorry.
A lot of big news in gaming this week, so it was really an intriguing week. So
Yeah. You guys been busy? I know Kaz has been busy.
yeah,
How's
I
your
had 2 games open up this week.
Okay.
Monday was the first game, so as you guys know, and then we had a game on Thursday, which was a nail biter. I had kids sliding between the kids' legs to the base. Oh yeah, it was one of those games that you wish you would have recorded because it was it was right down to the wire. And usually the games don't last that long, but we were actually going till 9:30 at night. We started at 6 o'clock, so it was a 3.5 hour game.
And what you do is just next time you record the entire game, and we'll take a break and we'll just play that for the Save Point Show.
Yeah, so I've been doing that. I played. Actually, I reinstalled Assassin's Creed Unity. Because they fixed a lot of the issues that people were having, and they repatched it. So I wanted to see how well they did it. I mean, I still get 30 frames per second. I'm not complaining about it. It is what it is. But it's a lot smoother than what it used to be. So I'm replaying it. I'm at sequence 9-1 or whatever it is. So I'm right at the end of the game. Been playing City Skyline. Well, Dota 2. I played a little bit of that the other day on stream. And what else have I played? Pillars of Eternity is the other one I played.
Good. How are you enjoying Pillars?
We started like 4 times already. The game is amazing. Just every character you make, it's just like, oh, I gotta go back and make this other character. Now you get this other character in the party that's just badass and just rolls over people like, hey, I want one of those characters. And you go back and remake the character.
Yeah, I know. Tich has been playing that too.
Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah.
I haven't played for a little while. I played it the couple weeks ago. I've been bad. What can I say? I have a tendency to start games and then not play them for a while. So I haven't played it for a little while, but I really enjoyed it. And my favorite, I'm sorry, I saw it on a stream, and one of my favorite modes is the big head mode because I like my characters to look like bobbleheads. It's really funny because they have these little tiny, teeny, tiny bodies and these great big bobbleheads. So it makes me laugh.
What else have you been playing?
Sims 4, of course. I've been trying to get through Witcher. That's not going to happen before Tuesday. I will
sure it can. You got plenty of time.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, play 24/7? I don't think so. I don't think I got the attention span to do that. Yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Witcher 2. I just started Witcher 2. What else have I been playing? I played just so many different games that it's hard to name them all. Mostly I've been playing Sims, though. Sims 4.
Cool.
And-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, and crispy bunny slippers to make Pandora.
Oh, man.
That was the funniest thing
I
ever.
watched that highlight. I still laugh. So.
Oh, it was
It's
great.
just one of those things. It's just hilarious. It was so funny. Yeah. Okay, I'm done.
Pandora, what's going on with you?
I played. We played some Minecraft this week, didn't we? Me and you and Sambird. Going around in our original world.
Not this week.
And I think we,
I think that was last week.
yeah.
Last weekend.
Well, whatever.
I haven't
don't
played
remember.
anything this
I
week.
don't
I haven't played anything this week.
Well, yeah, you did. You played Destiny with me with
That's
Tich.
true.
Oh, yeah, I
couple days
forgot.
That is
I
true.
guess
So-
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
No
and
game.
I
No
was-
game
I
is
was-
relevant. No game is relevant.
I was thinking we played Minecraft earlier in the week. Whatever.
That's okay. We got to play some more though.
the game that the oddball up there doesn't want to play.
Oddball.
Which one of us doesn't belong? He's up there drinking in his cup. But I played some Destiny with you and Tich, and then when I got done playing with you guys, I actually got to play a couple of strikes with Jeans and T-Ski. So, like I said, played some Minecraft with you and Sam Bird and stuff.
How's your comic book coming along?
It's coming along really well. We're working on some character designs and stuff for that, some for the upcoming chapters. I got about one more character that I've got to really get worked out. And then from there, we're just going to move on to some of the pages. So that's coming along pretty well.
Cool. Let's see. Me, I played a little bit of Hard Reset. I've been playing. I keep adding our indie picks of the week. I keep adding the ones I've been playing because I've been really into it lately. But the one that I did pick, the one that we do have for this week is called Invisible, and it's by the same makers of Mark of the Ninja and such like that. And there was a big deal. If you had Mark of the Ninja, you got 20% off of it. And so it's a really fun. It's a really challenging game. It's very simplistic. It's basically chess, and you play as a secret agency, and it's like chess stealth style. So, and I'll get more into it throughout the once we get there, and we'll show a trailer of it too. But let's see what else I've been playing. I've been playing that. I've been playing that, and I've been playing that, and
Guitar Hero 2.
I did. Yes, I broke down, and I wanted to play Guitar Hero because back in the day I was pretty decent at it, and
Decent.
I was decent at it, and I looked all over my place, and I didn't realize that because I was moving on to the next gen consoles, I started getting rid of all my Xbox 360 stuff and all my PlayStation 3 stuff. So I had sold it. I had sold all of my copies of Guitar Hero. So I ran over to the only place that I know that sells used games, GameStop, and I paid a fortune for them, which was like $3 for 2 games. So one Guitar Hero 2 was 99 cents. Or 89 cents, and Guitar Hero Aerosmith was like $2. So, got to play a little bit of that. I failed miserably. my reflexes are not as they used to be. I'm not 20 anymore. And it's that realization is starting to hit me. That my reflexes are just not as what they used to be. So I've been playing that. I played Guitar Hero until my hands cramped up, which was a little over 15 minutes. But no, I played a couple hours of Guitar Hero. But that was a lot. It was a lot of fun going back and playing some of the songs that I loved and then some and that too.
Sweet child of mine.
So
it's pretty cool to watch too.
Yeah, and now with with Twitch, I mean, when I used to play, Twitch didn't exist, and now with Twitch, man, it's kind of cool, like having a green screen behind you and like projecting yourself like almost in the band. I wish I had a full body camera, and I could be standing on the stage and put myself on the stage and stuff like that. But yeah, a waist up shot from now is pretty good. So it was a lot of fun. I don't know what else I've been playing. I've been just working on streams. Excuse me, a little congested day. I apologize. So it might be a coughing here and there.
Was Slim?
I'm sorry. Yes, yeah. I did play some of the crew. See, my mind is. Oh man, my mind is just gone. Yeah, I've been playing the crew. I played with Slim and M. I wanted to play a little, or we tried to play a little bit hardline, but we ended up on the crew. We played some of that. I'm drawing blanks now. So I played Destiny. I played Destiny. I played. I just realized I could look over to my right over here and actually read off the games that I've been playing because they're lined up consecutively of how I stack them. So a little bit of Far Cry, a little bit of Battlefield, Guitar Hero, The Crew, Destiny. Those were the ones that we played. So, so yeah. Big shout out. We are. I didn't do my traditional intro, but we are Styx Broadcasting. For those of you who don't know. And we represent the Styx stream team, and also representing the Styx stream team is a wonderful group of streamers that we have: Brunhofer, Slemenem, Kiex, Kiex90, Kim ST89. Did I get those numbers? I got those.
Yeah,
numbers
you
right.
mix them both up.
I always get the numbers wrong. Kiex89 and Kim ST90. I apologize, guys. My brain for numbers right now is not at full capacity par. My flux capacitor is broken. Where were we? Sambird23, the Waffling Brit, Stump_DK, excuse me, and the Real MRV Gaming HD is our band of merry men and women here. And This is the Save Point Show. So big shout out to our family out there, and for those of you who have put in applications, we will get to you guys. I apologize. We apologize. We've been really, really slammed, and we will be reviewing those. I know there's a couple of you guys out there that have been waiting for a long time for a response on us, but we will do that in due time. So. Interesting series of events in the news this week. Apparently, the developers of Payday, Overkill Software, has announced that its upcoming co-op shooter, based on Robert Kirkman's The Walking Dead comic book series, will have a significant showing at E3 next month. Quote, the upcoming weeks will be fully focused on our setup and planning for the E3 Expo in Los Angeles, and to make sure it's the historical event we envision. Sorry, my eyes are skipping all over the place. Parent company Starbreeze wrote on its website, with a significant presence, our ambition is to showcase both Payday 2 and Overkill's The Walking Dead. 505 Games will publish Overkill's The Walking Dead, presumably still a working title, and the game will launch sometime in 2016 for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. The game, which we still don't know much about, has the potential to duplicate, even eclipse the success of Payday 2, 505 Games said previously. Let me switch over here, and we actually have a screenshot of one of the models that they will be using for the game. So let me switch over to that. The Payday series has sold more than 9 million copies as of December 31st, 2013, and Payday 2 single-handedly pulled Starbreeze out of a 15-year loss in 6 months. Overkill's The Walking Dead aims to deliver a completely new co-op experience to the Walking Dead universe that will explore new characters and storylines. It's a co-op first-person shooter that will blend action, role-playing, survival, and stealth, according to its official description. As you could have guessed, you'll to be taken on the role of survivors trying not to die in a post-apocalyptic world. The game is being made with the blessing of Kirkman, who says he was certain for the first day he saw the project that it was the quote, co-op action game fans have been waiting for. It is also the result of a new long-term partnership between Starbreeze and Kirkman's Skybound Interactive Company. The partnership will extend into the next decade and marks a new era for Starbreeze, the company have said. Overkill has also shared an image, our image of the zombie bust being used in the production of its Walking Dead game. Development on the Payday series will continue as Overkill works on its Walking Dead game. What's more, Overkill is preparing some, quote, unprecedented crossovers between Payday and The Walking Dead. By the way, E3 2015 kicks off on June 14th. So that's cool. I mean, this might be like a Left 4 Dead feeling with definitely better graphics and better gameplay. I mean, I love the Walking Dead series where you had to do a co-op, standoff between the things. But hopefully this game will be more in depth than Left 4 Dead.
I'm really excited about it. I want this game.
I am too.
I've only seen this, and I already want this.
For those of you who are Walking Dead fans, I'm pretty sure this will definitely appeal to you guys.
Definitely.
I'm a little reserved about it. I love The Walking Dead, obviously, just like everybody else here. And I'm a huge Payday fan. But if it's gonna be another Left 4 Dead, I don't want it. I really don't want it. I mean, I've already been there, done that. Don't want to do it again.
Well, I think we've gotten past. I mean, Left 4 Dead was released a long time ago. We've definitely gotten past some gameplay of that. I mean, Left 4 Dead was good for its time, but I'm pretty sure they could do like a Left 4 Dead-esque or something homage to Left 4 Dead and have a better gameplay, a better storyline, and of course it's going to have a better storyline. It's Walking Dead. So
yeah, but Payday, I mean, if they have the Payday elements right now, the way the Payday movement is and the guns and and stuff like that. I'm not afraid of that part. I'm afraid of that it's just going to be, what are they going to do with the plot? You know, it just, they say it's a co-op, you know, player's dream is what they're going to be producing, which Payday is great at co-op as is. I just wish that they had the other side instead of just, and you guys already know how I feel about Hardline, you know, how I wished Hardline should have been more like Payday.
Right.
In that sense of, you know, but I just, there's something in my gut telling me that it's not going to be as good as everybody thinks it is.
Well, and of course they haven't announced anything yet, so we can only speculate. And hopefully they'll come out with a game. I mean, because I actually like Overkill. I love the Payday games, but I'm not too familiar with Overkill other than Payday. So all I've seen from Overkill is Payday. So I'm not. It's not really expanding my imagination too much from what they can do.
But imagine, you know, maybe they take on more of the elements of what is very popular now, the chapter series is. What if we have, instead of episodes, though, we have more of a story-driven, longer game that maybe your choices have something to do with it, too. That would be nice. And co-op, as far as, you know, survivalist, not, you know, Retro is saying he thinks that the Walking Dead zombies are slow, so he thinks it'd be more like Dead Island. Well, what if it's more like, you know, what if they take on, and I know it's a different studio, but what if they take on elements more like The Last of Us and the Walking Dead Telltale series, and, you know, those are becoming very popular. What if they took a longer one and did it more like that? I would like to see something like that. I'm not saying that this game will be like that, but it would be interesting if they could do something like that.
So you're talking about like a setup, kind of like a Resident Evil Revelations 2
sort of
type of episodic.
Yeah.
Action.
Instead of having
I
it
could get
be
behind that too.
episodic, instead of it being episodic, what if it just is one long game that continues to change with your choices? Because I can see somebody coming up with that. You know, that's becoming very popular right now. And if you had a very long game that was very immersive and survivalist, and, you know, I think that it would go over very, very well and not be episodic.
What would you think? I mean, this is kind of going outside of what they're doing, but what would you think of like a Walking Dead-esque survival MMO, more like in the style of Guild Wars or Terra or something more along, but not so much as like H1Z1 or 7 Days to Die.
Please God, not the Matrix.
No turn-based here. Sorry. But something more along the lines of like World of Warcraft style, Terra, Guild Wars, but not like H1Z1. What would you think of that?
I would be behind that. I'd get in on that.
I'm just curious.
I'm a huge MMO fan, but I don't think that's even possible for them to pull that off.
Why?
They would have to write such an amazing backstory and backlog, and while you're playing it, what are you going to do with the quests?
The quests are missions like helping survivors, the NPCs. You go from town to town. I mean, it's not so far fetched. I mean, they like say they put it in a map that's as large as World of Warcraft. I mean, you have the different towns that you can travel to.
What if you did it like, you know, the quests are going and getting such and such supplies, going and getting medical supplies, food, things like that, gathering stuff to create a, you know, to help fortify a building or things like that. I mean, I can see that would go over.
I can definitely see the hardship of doing something like, as far as like World of Warcraft, like the raids, boss fights. That would be a little bit difficult. They'd have to come up with something that would be very un-Walking Dead-esque. But I think if they would put their heads together, they could come up with something really interesting.
Yeah, I think they could.
I was just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'd like to see? I would like to see a team-based co-op game that is survival in nature, that you just kill a bunch of zombies. Screw all the little side mission crap. I want to kill some zombies. And I'd like to do it with a group of friends.
Well, that's
and if you could put me, not to that extent, not where it's just limited to 4 and you're running from one save point or one save area to another. I mean, with the feeling of the Walking Dead series in there, where what really makes it intense is that you're not facing 1 or 2 zombies. You're facing hordes of zombies, and fighting through that is its own sense of reward. You know, if you got to team up with your, let's take for example, say conquest maps on say a Battlefield 4 or something like that, and you got this map and you got these environments that you have to survive, and you got to team up with, I don't know, say 8 people, whatever. It's a group of people, and you're going from one spot to the next, and you're trying to survive, capturing the feel. I mean, let's face the facts. You can't. Why do you need a story in The Walking Dead? I guess you could have a campaign mode if you wanted to, but I think a lot of people just want to kill zombies, and I think like, say, for example, I've watched a lot of these H1Z1 streams. I've watched DayZ, and it kills me. I can't hardly do it because people are just running around for hours, not engaging anything other than each other sometimes, and they end up killing one another most of the time to steal each other's gear or whatever. And that's just, I don't know. It's like it's supposed to be a zombie survival game, but where are all the zombies? They're far and few in between.
What if it was more like Dead Rising, but with a bigger co-op aspect?
That's what I mean. You take the elements of a Dead Rising where it's intense, like you got zombies coming at you, you've got corridors. Let's say you have a like when in the series Rick and them were stuck in the prison.
Oh God.
What if you have a prison map, and you start out and you got to try to get out of this prison? And that's the objective. You have objectives, like you have to survive, and you have to work as a team, and you can't just go wandering off and whatever, because these zombies, these hordes will get you, man. You need strategy. You're going to need some planning. You're going to need to work as a team to survive. I think I'd enjoy that. I think I'd really enjoy a game that's intense.
Left 4 Dead actually touches very briefly on that. They actually have another mode.
Yeah.
Well, they have another mode other than the campaign mode where you're getting from point A to point B to the save points. I said the show name. But they have another. they have another mode where you're stuck in a mall, and the objective is to gather gasoline for a generator or an escape vehicle. So as you're doing this, and they're spread out like far away, well, as far as the map will let you. But I mean, they're not huge maps, but they're pretty good medium-sized maps. As you're doing this, hordes and hordes of zombies come at you, like waves, come at you.
I agree. I think Kaz is right. I mean, adding some MMO. I mean, what are they going to do with stuff like that? It's been done. The Walking Dead in its core, at its core, I don't think fits that so much. I do think it would fit more of an action survival game, sort of kind of a cross blend between like Dead Rising, Dying Light, Left 4 Dead, where it's actiony, it's intense. What's great about the TV series is the characters, right? And their way that they work together to survive. We're not going to have that luxury. You can't have that luxury in a video game because you just have to get. They have time in a TV series to develop story. They got week after week after week. You can't quite do that in a video game, so you kind of got to speed you kind of you got to give some story, but you don't have that luxury of a serial like a TV series does to build these characters. What's going to build the fun with this game is like, hey, Sid, Tich, Kaz, let's jump in here and get this game, man. Let's do it. And us having to survive together, like put our wits together and not just be able to just randomly run around and like you can say in Dead Rising and those types of games where you can just easily survive, but really pitch your surviving abilities together. Like you have to fight to survive.
It's strategy.
We've already done that.
Strategy, yeah.
We've already done that. Sid, myself, and Tich have already done that. We did that in 7 Days to Die. We actually had to. We had to survive together.
I've seen you guys play that, but it's not intense.
Oh yes, it is.
I don't know. When I was in the middle of the pitch black and I'm against the wall of the building going, oh my God, I can't see. And I can hear, they're getting closer.
Yeah, and then
that's a little intense.
And when you start seeing the big hordes of 50, 75, 100, 150, 200 zombies approaching your complex, thinking you're safe behind a wall, they knock down the freaking wall and come after you.
Okay, then that's what I'm saying. You enjoy that, right?
I had a good time. I mean,
yeah, we had a good time.
Then why? That's what I'm saying. If The Walking Dead, if they model this after a game similar to that, but with some of the newer aspects of some of these newer games, to give you a little bit of kind of some smaller side quests, I think it'll go over. First of all, it's a Walking Dead game. And if they even halfway do it right, it's going to sell. Now, if they come up with another crappy game like that Walking Dead survival garbage, it'll fall flat. But if they even halfway get this right as a co-op game that the fans are really wanting, I think it's going to do really well. It's really early to tell what their intentions are, though. They're not releasing any information yet. We don't know if it's going to be. We don't know if it's going to be map restricted. We don't know if it's going to be open world. We don't know anything really.
As long as it's not linear.
Yeah, exactly. So
honestly, I think what I'm looking for is more of a 7 Days to Die type game,
I agree.
but more refined. It's someone to take it up that notch, to a little bit better graphics and such like that. But to have that intensity, that feeling, that intensity and such like that, I think that's
it was intense. It was difficult to survive. It was fun to play, and I did feel like my life was on the line every minute I was out there.
Yeah, and I mean, we could have easily bumped the difficulty up to make it even that much more difficult and harder to survive.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, and to be fair to 7 Days to Die, it's still in alpha, so it's still in early access. So it's not like it's even close to being finished yet. They've gone leaps and bounds and gotten better every patch. I mean, since the game came out to now, it's almost like a totally different game, and there's so much more to do. It's just you've got to pick the right ways to survive in it, and if they do, that's what I said. If they do a game like that in that perspective and have a storyline with it, I would play that. I wouldn't have a problem with that. But it's just all these survival games have been done, and look, there's more and more coming out.
We're getting too many cookie cutters, and I think it's time to break free from that.
I say that about simulators too, but they just keep coming around, don't they? I mean, it's another zombie game too. Let's not forget that. You're talking about the genre is survival, yeah, but look what it's based with, another zombie game. So you're not talking about just a saturated market with survival, but you're also talking about a saturated market with zombie games too. So they already got two things going right there that there are plenty of choices for those types of games out there. There are plenty of zombie games already. There are plenty of survival games already. What are these guys going to bring to the table that's fresh? Anything? Or are they just going to take a blend of what's out there and create a new zombie game and just call it Walking Dead? I don't know. I'm curious to see.
And that's what I was saying. They would have to do some type of storyline to make it so it's different, where you have that one player or even 4-player co-op story, where you go through and do the missions and you survive the way that they want you to do it, and then you can go off and play 8-man survival, 16-man survival on a regular server, where you're gonna survive. But yeah, I think, and especially with all the games coming out nowadays, all the survival games, there's so many coming out again, and it sucks because it's always the zombie games, it's always survival games, where you get games and developers that do different, like the guys who are making Ark. That's a different story. That's totally. I mean, it's survival, and it's crafting and survival, but it's got dinosaurs in it. It's one of those things that are just, it's different than all the rest of them. Even though it might have the same, like Reign of Kings. It's an MMO based on survival. It's you gotta sit on a throne and become the king of the land. But it's survival. It's the same old, collect this log, break down this bush, create a campfire, create a little wooden house to live in, and
shoot the red barrels.
Yeah, it's just...
Well, first it's all oohs and ahs and whoas, and then all of a sudden all the screaming starts, and then the running, and then all the constant running.
Well, I did want to address the screenshot that we had, or the model, the character model. I don't think these guys are taking this game lightly. They're not going at it. They obviously aren't going at it in a goofball kind of way, because that character model looks pretty intense. I mean, it looks pretty incredible.
It is overkill. These guys.
But I mean, that's what really makes a series. That's what makes a show, a movie, is those attention to details.
Well, and that's what I said.
Yeah.
Having the developers of Overkill, who made, Payday 2 or whatever, but look at all the work that they put into Payday 2. Yeah, they do suck you dry on all the DLC that comes out. I mean, every 2 weeks or something, there's a new DLC coming out that you got to pay for. But they constantly update the game, making it better and better and better, and more guns, more layouts, more missions, more heists. So that's the only thing I think they have a plus for, is because who the developer is. These guys are known to not back down and to really give their all on a project. So we'll see. It's either going to be a big flop or a big hit.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, well, next up we do have Tich's tips. What do you have for us today?
I'm going to talk about what you can do with a detective. So this is 6 things to try as a detective in The Sims 4 Get to Work. Protect and serve. You might have already heard about some of the cool things your Sims can do as the detective career. To talk about how you can make the most of your crime-solving skills today. We've uncovered 6 things you should try out while you work your way up to the police chief. So in image 1, we see the detective performing his duties. One duty is detectives find hidden clues at crime scenes. Learning how to properly sweep a crime scene for clues is paramount to the success as a detective. Sometimes you'll be able to see the clues scattered around, things like a burnt or damaged object, sometimes graffiti or stolen goods. Now, I will give you a little heads up. Your stolen goods, you'll still see them where they should have been, but they'll be ghosted. So they almost look like they're invisible. You can see through them. You can see the image, like let's say that there's a TV that was stolen. you'll be able to see that image of that TV, but it'll be very ghosted. You can dust for fingerprints on those things as well. So other times you'll need to utilize your sim's innate abilities. Clicking on the ground and selecting the search for clues interaction will highlight those pesky hidden clues. You'll see a almost like a pulsing circle go around your sim, and all of a sudden the clue will appear and it'll kind of flash at you. So give your detective the observant reward trait for optimal sleuthing. One of the clues you can uncover about a suspect is linked to their traits. They might be a loner, or they could be ambitious. This is when you put an APB, an all points bulletin, out about the suspect. And while these are things you'll be able to find by conversing with different suspects, you can speed things up with the observant trait. Unlocking this with satisfaction points will allow your sim to automatically identify the traits of any sim they meet. A sim that can identify the perp just by talking to them, that sounds like one of those one half of a primetime TV cop show drama, doesn't it? And get some friendly encouragement from the chief. Have some time to kill in the police station between cases. The chief of police has some fantastic dialogue that'll pop up on the right of your screen. It'll be just like when it describes what happened when your sim gets a new skill or when they unlock something.
Or they're running away on fire.
Or they're running away on fire.
with bunny slippers.
Slippers on. That's in reference to my stream this week. I'll tell you guys about that in a minute. The chief of police, it doesn't really pull punches, so be sure to watch that dialogue that'll pop up, so you'll be aware of what's going on. So only go chat if you want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, because the chief will tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. If you search your perp to see what they've got hidden in their pockets, once you've found your suspect, it's back to the police station for booking. But before your sim gets interrogated by your chief or your detective, you might want to check out that perp's pockets and make sure that they're empty. You don't want them sneaking any knives or fish into the cell with them. Oftentimes when you're searching, they'll pull out a great big fish. I don't know where that comes from. Place a one-way mirror in your home or business, and one of the rewards you can unlock playing the detective career is a one-way mirror, which is a window on one side and a mirror on the other. But just because it's unlocked with a detective doesn't mean you can't use it in your home or business. There are all sorts of creative ways to take advantage of this cool object. In image 2, we see that a cop is giving a citation. Play good cop or bad cop mind games during interrogation, and you can also play good cop and bad cop on the streets while you go on patrol. Because let's be honest, there's nothing better than watching cops in movies and TV shows go from, "I'm on your side, I love llamas too," to, "Admit it, you stole the pie from Bella Goth's kitchen." Now your sim can be that crazy cop. And in reference to the bunny slippers, we had some pretty interesting stuff happen on the survival Sims Survivalist Ultimate Survivor Challenge. If you could load up the image of the survival challenge, I believe I have it as the last image in the news image 5, I think it is. Sid, it'll show the Ultimate Survival Challenge, and basically it is a challenge that I'm doing with my Sims.
Ultimate Survival Challenge?
Yes,
okay.
Please.
I found it.
Sorry, sweetie. That was my bad.
It's okay.
I got it.
I got you.
In the survival challenge, you have to create a sim, and this is what's going on my stream lately. We actually do a sim with the ultimate survival, and he has to have no skills. He starts out with no job, no money, no electricity. And you basically go through and you have to do the challenge with all those things in place, and then you actually buy the cheapest tent, the cheapest outdoor shower, the cheapest outdoor toilet. They don't have an outdoor toilet, so just a toilet, the cheapest one. And a campfire and some chairs. The rest of your money, the rest of the $20,000 that you have, has to go into decorating the largest 50 by 50 lot in Willow Creek, which is the Oakenstead lot. You can fish, garden, and collect as many things as you can for income. You can never leave the area or travel. So we did this. We started this. The first time that I decided that my sim needed a roommate, she starved to death in the street, and the roommate just walked away, let her die. It was quite sad. So we reset the challenge, and I started over and decided to move in another sim for companionship. And she set the sim on fire twice. This was very disheartening. She was trying to kill me on her first day in the area, and so we failed that challenge and had to start over. But you can see these highlights on my channel.
The crispy bunny slippers.
Crispy bunny slippers. She set my sim on fire, and she had bunny slippers, and the ears were like.
Smoke rolling.
We laughed about that for about 20 minutes, so yeah. So you guys
are still laughing.
You guys can join me on my stream, and we will continue that challenge, as well as I am building a Sticks broadcasting neighborhood. So all of the stream team and the founders will be in their own households in a brand new neighborhood labeled Sticks Broadcasting. So join me, and until then, happy simming, guys.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So tell us a little bit about that bunny slipper. Just a little bit about the bunny slipper episode. A little bit more.
She tried to set me on fire twice. All of a sudden, I was playing, and all of a sudden, the sim is on fire. And I'm like, no, you can't die. This is the challenge sim. You can't die. And the lady that I had moved in that had actually added a log to the fire, she stood there and laughed at me. And she was an evil sim, so she took high delight in my suffering. And then I get that fire put out and get my sim extinguished, and I swear to God, not 2 minutes later, she's on fire again. And this time she almost died. I almost lost that sim. And again, the evil sim is still laughing her ass off at me.
Let's take a moment and visit that moment, shall we?
GMT told me I shouldn't move in that sim. He told me that she was a skanky bitch.
I thought it should be like single female. Remember? Come on.
Right.
I love how
I was right.
Like single white female, and it was.
I love how in the beginning you're on fire and your roommate's just trying to get a burger.
I know. Well, she is. Are you watching the highlight?
Oh, yes, we are.
Really?
Oh my God, you pulled the highlight. I didn't know you did that. Oh God. Yeah, see, I didn't know you had the highlight up. Yeah, she's just getting a burger. You didn't see her. She's just and pretty soon I will be on fire here. You could probably, I think it happens about, yeah, you probably need to fast forward a little bit into the highlight. Oh no, we're going to sit down. This is, you can actually see the ground is scorched underneath her. That's where she had been set on fire before. This is going to happen quite quickly.
See, I think the biggest problem is you sat in the same chair.
I know. Well, I don't have control over that. She sat down in the
Fool
same.
you once.
Well, there she goes. She
Shame
puts
on them.
the log on, and this is when it's going to happen.
Fool you twice. Shame on you.
Yeah, see how close her bunny slippers are?
Woo! Fire!
Go.
Fire!
Get out of hand. Oh, here comes the bitch. She's okay. Another log. No,
Here
come
comes
on,
the
little
bitch.
fire to tree. You know it'll be okay.
Extinguish
There you go.
Extinguish self.
Oh, and there goes the fire. Here we go. And what happens? She freaks out.
Oh my
She puts
God,
the
she
plate
got
down
a
and
better
goes over
corner?
here so she's got a better view. And she's laughing, and yeah, there's my Sim on fire.
Extinguish her,
And
you
she
bitch.
just stands there in the fire.
And you're
She thought
yelling
she
at
was
it.
for
I-
eager, I
we, can, we,
guess.
can, we can hear you in the background yelling, "Extinguish! Extinguish!"
Extinguish, extinguish, extinguish. I know, I always do that.
Screenshot of
And
this
then
in case
she's just
it
flapping her arm, and
fruition.
yeah.
Guys,
Let's,
God love it.
let's listen in a little bit.
extinguish yourself.
No game. Org. Huh. Warba Tarenga. Nigelna. Nigelna. Oh. Need a Wix. Ina?
Oh my god! I mean, this is. She moves in, and all this shit happens. I think she's doing it.
Maybe she thought she was gonna be.
I love how the evil bitch just stands there and laughs at you. No shit, right?
Joyba snurks.
Yeah,
Take
now
a
she's
shower.
nauseated. Gee, I wonder why. Singed.
Emily, or Captain Frightnight. Oh no, I'd know those laughs anywhere. How are we doing,
Oh
everyone?
my god.
I want to get to a point you get this great screenshot. Here we go. Here you go.
Hold on.
Yeah, she's putting another log on the fire. She hasn't learned.
And there we are, the burnt bunny slippers right there.
She little bunny.
So you guys can see more of this on the highlights at twitch.tv/Titchery on her profile page.
Oh yeah, it was a good night. That was a good night.
All right. Any more on
Thanks.
the tips, or was that it? Or
No, that's it.
okay,
Just don't put logs on the fire.
don't put logs on the fire. All right.
All on fire.
Well, boys and girls, it is that time again. Another interesting debate with Pandora, and as we open Pandora's box, what do you have for us today?
Y'all ready?
No, I'm not.
You guys ready? Yes, you are.
I'm never ready.
You're ready.
We're ready.
No, not ready.
Kaz.
Not ready.
Kaz, I knew you were going to say something. All right, so this week I want to talk about preconceived expectations of video games. It seems that as gamers, we've been kind of setting ourselves up to be, either extremely satisfied with games that we are interested in, or we're completely devastated by the games because we go into games now, it seems like, as a general, expecting certain things from these games. And sometimes it can be a bad thing. And that's kind of what I want to talk about is what is it like and why do you think we continue to do this? Why, to go into a game not knowing anything really of the game except for what bit of news that we get, tidbits, previews, trailers, whatever, and then we form these opinions of games we haven't even played yet. Some of us will even go so far as to try to watch Twitch when games are out before they're supposed to be, to try to get that little extra edge on whether this is a game we're going to like or we're not going to like, just to, again, form our opinion. And I want to talk to you guys about what do you think it's like, and is it good or bad for us to expect things from games that we really know nothing about until we've played it. And then, once we've played it, if we have these preconceived ideas and we're kind of let down by that, is that what really causes us to like the game? or dislike a game because we felt more let down, instead of just enjoying the game for the game itself, and what the developers have offered us. Because these guys work hard. We're not going to... I don't think there's anybody in the chat. I don't think there's anybody in this on the forum here that will disagree that these guys put a lot of hours in to create these games. There's a lot of code writing. There's a lot of late nights. There's a lot of art developing. There's a lot of story concepts. There's a lot of art concepts. Video games are very hard to make, and they consume a lot of time, a lot of power, a lot of energy, and a lot of ideas. And I just kind of wanted to get your guys' idea or opinions on, do you think this is a good thing for us to be doing anymore? Because back, a few years, I don't think we did that so much. It would just, we'd hear about a game and then we'd say, oh, look, Crash Bandicoot's coming out, or Sonic's coming out, or Zelda's coming out. And you would just go buy the game and you play it. And then you would form your opinion of the game. Hey, yeah, I played it, man. I loved it. But it seems like we're changing, and it seems like we're forming our opinions before we're playing them. And it also seems like we're forming our opinions by others before we play these games for ourselves. So, what do you guys think? Do you think this is just a trend? Do you guys think this is a good thing? Or do you think it's a bad thing? But I want to talk about this preconceived idea of what a game is supposed to be, and then what you get in comparison. Sometimes it's not what you think it's going to be. Sometimes it is. So,
well, back then, when we had just the Sega Genesis, just the Nintendo, and we had the Zelda games coming out, and we would buy it. We really hadn't had that many games to compare them off to. Yeah, there were some good, the 8-bit games, the Atari, and such before the Nintendo, the original Nintendo, and such like that. But really, technology wasn't all there. At that time, the 8-bit was the biggest part of our technology. So, and we had never seen anything like that before. So, yeah, okay, we were starting to get a rapport of these games. Yeah, we're starting to start a fan base of Zelda, Mario, Sonic, whatever, what have you. And, but they were continuations of the same game, so we were already expecting it to be almost exactly like the same as the first game. As technology has grown, I feel that, more and more games are being produced, of course. Naturally. More and more games are being produced. More and more technology of the games, more in-depth storylines, in-depth graphics, gameplay, mechanics. We're starting... Gamers like us who are becoming, who probably weren't originally hardcore gamers, are getting into that, are becoming more interested in games, more aware of games, so to speak, are collecting a internal library of how games used to be, and are comparing the old games to the new games, saying, well, they're getting more options to compare newer games to. Is what I'm basically trying to say. So, this other game coming out. Well, I played this one. I know this company now. They kind of do these type of games. I hope it's not like this, or I hope it is like this, and I hope it's like a combination of this, and this. So we're having basically information overload where we start analyzing games before they come out, because let's face it, there's not a lot. We're going to run out of genres. There's so many mix and matches that you can do, and we've already seen it where we're starting to repeat ourselves, like the zombie games. Sure, there are some genres out there that we probably haven't touched, that some people haven't thought of, but we're getting to that point, and you see this in movies too. It's the same thing. You see this in movies. We're starting to. We're starting to use titles for movies that are kind of lame. Drive Angry. The creativity is it's not run out. It's more so being in like a routine and
Stagnant.
getting yes, thank you, yeah, exactly. And I think it's the same people doing the same thing over and over again. And yes, they're running out of ideas. I mean, they need to sit back, take a breath, and just come up with a brand new idea. Think a little bit harder. But of course, some companies get in that norm. They find something that they produce that makes them money. They want to keep doing that over and over again because they know the process. They know the routine. So I think that plays a big part in gamers like us going, well, it's probably going to be like this because it's this company. They do these type of games, and I think it's kind of human nature that we speculate a lot. I mean, we are very impatient when it comes to games, especially with titles that we're waiting for and we're anticipating. You hear it all the way. I can't wait for this to come out. I can't wait for Division come out. Even though we have a tidbit about that. But I can't wait for the new Zelda game to come out. I mean, I wonder how this Zelda game. Well, it's probably going to be like this, but because like the Zelda games, they're pretty much the same now. I mean, they can veer off. Like Wind Waker was like a breath of fresh air for me because it came out of that norm of what like Ocarina of Time was and Majora's Mask was. I mean, granted, those were great games, but it was a different direction that they went to. It was a new breath of creativity for the genre. Not trying to say that the other ones were inferior or anything like that. So I think that's where gamers like us kind of fall into, and we start just anticipating games because we have this new, like today in this day and age, we have a vast library collection of games that we all compare to.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I understand that comparison is just it's human nature. We do compare.
I really can't answer if that's good or bad because I do it too.
Yeah, what I'm getting at though is not comparing. Like maybe I should be a little more clear. Comparing is that you're 100% exactly right. And before Tich and Kaz want to say anything here, I want to kind of clarify a little bit more. I'm not necessarily trying to say comparing genres or comparing storylines or similarities,
but anticipating how a game's going to be.
Exactly, like anticipating it based on what you've seen. Like, oh my God, this game's not going to be good because BCK's kind of striking on it. I don't like the graphics in this game, or I don't like this, or you start where we start. We put these preconceived ideas in our own head of what this product is going to be after we've done the comparisons, if you know what I mean. Because we do compare. That's the first thing we do. This game is similar to that. Right. But once we do that and we get past that point, we as gamers now, we don't stop there. I've noticed that we start to go further. We're starting to go further and further and further into our expectations of games. We don't just we're not just satisfied with saying, "Oh, hey, I know that Crash Bandicoot number 3 is probably going to be similar to number 2," and and we kind of compare that, and then I like 2, so I think I'm going to like 3, and then we're done with it. We used to be done with it at that point, but now it's like, oh wow, that's not going to be 1080. Did you read about that? It's not going to be 1080. It's only going to be 900. Oh, I'm going to be so disappointed. And then it's the nitpicking starts. And well, I wonder if they're going to add story element this time. We don't stop at the comparison anymore. We have gone to the point of nitpicking.
Okay.
And we have gone to the point of setting ourselves up for when this product is delivered. In other words, I'm asking, are we setting the standards a little higher beyond reality of what a game should be?
I think
and then that's why there's maybe some disappointments with gamers. Oh, this game didn't have a story in it like I wanted it. Or, hey, this, because we set ourselves up to think that it's going to have this epic story because that's what we want. So that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Let me say one thing, and I'll try to keep this as short as possible because I know other people want to, and I want to hear your other opinions too. I know Kazlan has a lot to say on it too. I think the nitpicking this all comes down to human nature. We want we as much as I hate to admit, we like to complain. B, we all want our 15 minutes of fame. So as more outlandish, as more comments that we post, we want to feel that we're the superior intelligence of another person. It's human nature. I mean, we want to feel internally above someone else. I mean, not every single person is always like that at every single time. At some point of everyone's lives, we want to feel that way. And this way, reviewing a game and anticipating what a game's going to be like, and saying, "Oh, I'm not going to like this game." You know, it's 900p instead of 1080p. This is going to be crap. Is just basically their way of expressing how they feel and wanting to, you know, say their piece and get it out there and have their 15 minutes of fame or 15 seconds of fame or whatever. And also, you know, basically show that, hey, I'm an individual, I'm opinionated. And I think that's what it comes down to. And I'm guilty of it too. I can't really, again, I can't really say if it's good or bad, because I mean, it just happens. I do think it's probably, in my opinion, it is backhanding the game, because you don't know what it's going to be like, and that is bad, because it puts a bad taste in your mouth, and you're already making up your mind. And hopefully, the developers and the game people go, well, hopefully they have an open mind when they actually play it, they'll like it.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of similar to what we were saying. I don't want to bring the order up to talk about the order, but what I want to bring up is all the publicity that the order got before it ever even released.
Right.
And
that's a good example.
That's a very good example, and that caused a lot of panic in the gamers and the community, because some people got early access to this game and were posting videos on YouTube, and people were forming their own opinions of how can you, what I'm saying is how can we really truly form an opinion of something we have not experienced for ourselves? So it's kind of like, if you don't know what this game is about, can you really honestly truly form an opinion on this game? If you personally have not taken the controller in your hand and taken it for a spin, it's like trying to talk about a car you didn't test drive. It's how can you say how it performs? How can you? All we're doing at this point is taking someone else's word for it, because it's not your own. I have often gone into things and thought I wasn't going to like it, and then participated in it or played it or watched it and found out that I was wrong. I did enjoy it. I've also gone into things thinking I was going to love it, and then because I watched it or played the game, found out that I didn't. But I didn't really go out there trying to tell everybody what a game was like or not like until after I had experienced it for myself. Right. And then I told people I thought. So I don't know. I'm really curious to see what Kaz and Tich have to say on this, because I know they really love games. So
I just wanted to say I do have a point, but I'm going to wait till Tich and Kaz go ahead and say their piece, though.
I write it down, or you'll forget if you're like me.
It's just it's not really a point. It's more as an observation.
Well, it's like, you know, and I know that I reference The Sims a lot, but everybody had a preconceived notion as to what Sims 4 was going to be like. And when it came out and it didn't have as much stuff as Sims 3, everybody forgot that this is a brand new series in the franchise. Sims 4 is a brand new game engine. It's, you know, so yeah, I think that, you know, gamers have too high of expectations for the newer games, and especially if you're starting a game franchise, a series within the franchise over, you need to realize that things aren't necessarily, when a game starts out like that, they're not going to be a carbon copy of what you're used to. And maybe we need to not think that things should be the same as what we've been used to. I mean, we need to lower our expectations. Realize that not everything that has been built up over a series of time is going to be the same in the next game. If you are enjoying the game, and if you're not sure that you're going to enjoy the next chapter in that game series, then don't buy it right away. Wait. See, ask a buddy if you have a PS4 and it's on a console, ask him if you can come over and watch his gameplay. Ask him if, you can actually share play that game. Don't be so fast to judge a game just by what you think you wanted. You might be surprised. Like Pandora says, there have been games that he's played that he thought that he would hate, and he ended up loving them. And, I think that we need to not be so nitpicky. I think that's exactly it.
I do think that. I'm going to address this real quick because it might help Kaz when he speaks. But Wombat is asking, do we think that we overhype games so much that we hate it and its series before we hate the game and its series we play all the time? I'm not sure what that last part means, but I do get his question, Kaz. He's asking, as part of this conversation, do you think we are overhyping them so much that we do end up hating them before we probably even play them?
Yeah.
So maybe that's something you can add to your, because I know it's going to be good.
Well, all right. I'm going to go back in 25 years in history. Okay. When we started playing video games, I love that watch look, Sid. All right.
I'm joking. Go ahead.
We didn't have the internet, okay? How we found out about games and game releases were either TV commercials here and there, and they were, unless they were a huge budget game, we didn't see TV commercials with either. So we relied on magazines like Nintendo Power, Game Pro magazine, even the Game Pro TV series we've seen on TV all the time. They used to be on every Thursday or Friday night or whatever it was on TV. That's what we relied on to find out these games that were coming out, okay? And their reviews. So we would wait till the next episode come out, the next issue of the book to come out, and say, listen, wow, that game got a great review, and I owned it already, and I thought the same way that the review did. The way that they did reviews back then and the way they do reviews now, totally different. I mean, totally different.
Yeah.
The integrity of the authors back then is so much better than what we have now. Okay. Fast forward to 1995. The internet is around. Okay. Now, all of a sudden, we're starting to get everybody's opinion on games from the internet. And the internet is slowly becoming the next big media outlet for news. So we're relying less on paying that $20 a year or $50 a year for the Nintendo Power and these other things, and we're getting it from online. All these reviews and all these people with their comments are starting to really affect our opinions on games. Okay? Fast forward to today. The internet is so big and probably the biggest media industry out there. And everybody wants their opinion heard. Everybody likes to have an opinion heard. We choose to watch games and watch people play games and inform our opinion. Oh, we see this trailer. Oh, this game looks amazing. And we go, and like me, I go and say, Tich, Pandora, and Sid, hey, I just saw this trailer of this game. This game looks absolutely amazing. Pandora looks at it, it looks okay to me. I'm like, what are you, crazy? That looks, and I'm trying to force my opinion on Pandora. And it happens.
It happens.
It happens by every which way you think about it. I mean, Destiny. Everybody tries to force their opinions on Destiny. I already told you I don't like the game. I mean, how much more clear do you want me to be? And if you want me to tell you every which way why I don't like the game, I'll be more than happy to sit down and talk to you about it. But I just don't like the game. Now, do I sit and rant and rave and cry and complain about it on all these forums? No. I have better things to do than cry and complain on the forums. Everybody else, it's coming to a point where everybody's not satisfied. They make their own opinion of a game before it comes out and stick with it and don't care if they're going to be blindsided about a game that they're interested in. Like, we showed, was it last week or the week before? We showed the Mad Max trailer. And I'm already telling you,
2 weeks.
I think it's a Game of the Year material because of the way the things are going with it. Now, could the game come out and totally suck? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It could be the worst game ever freaking made, which I find it hard to believe, but who knows? Just by looking at the game trailer, the amount of work that they put into that game trailer alone means that they're going to put in that much more effort into the game. Now, let's take a game that's not even out yet. It comes out on Tuesday. The Witcher 3. And you guys heard me trying to find this whole spiel of what's going on with The Witcher 3. People are outraged and complaining about the PC version being downscaled. Okay? That yada yada. This is why, the console gamers kind of screwed us, the PC gamers. And you can call me a fanboy of CD Projekt Red all you want. I'm gonna tell you how it is. I'm just telling you how it is. The reason why they downscale it, and even if they did, I mean, I think people overlooked trailer to gameplay. They were thinking certain trailers were gameplay and some gameplay trailers were really not, and they were trailers. They got those images mixed in their head saying, wow, this looks absolutely epic, and that's how it's going to be looking in the game. Well, like I just told BCK in the chat a few minutes ago, 75% of the new graphics cards cannot even handle The Witcher 2 with tessellation graphics on. Why is that? They make a game to go, to actually look better as future goes on and better technology comes on. And that's what CD Projekt Red does. On the PC version, I mean, I have Ultimate Beast of a computer right now, and if I can't run it on full graphics, I'll be mad. But again, I don't think I will be able to, because I think that they did another thing like they did with Witcher 2 with the tessellation issue. It's not an issue, it's just part of the features that they did. We overhype games way too much. It's one of those things that we'll always do. Now, I went back and started playing Unity again because I watched Syndicate. I watched every freaking trailer they put up of Syndicate in the last week, and I am absolutely amazed. Everything I said on last week's show is what they're doing, and it's making me more hyped about an Assassin's Creed again. I absolutely love everything that they're doing with it. I love the siblings, how you're playing both the brother Jacob and the sister Evie. It's amazing. Now, if the game comes out, and I really don't think Ubisoft is going to screw this game up at all, because I think that they have to redeem themselves and they're going to use this game to do it. We overhype games, and I'll be the first one to say it. I do too. We all do. We're all part of, gaming and internet. We're passionate gamers. We want to make sure that a game comes out that we back or like and not screw up. We want it to be a certain way, and that's it. If it's not that way, we're pissed off and complaining and want to tear the developer's head off. I think we need to lay off and back off and restart from what we did back in the day. If we start again from that way, I don't think we can screw up games again. because we have the integrity of the authors again. We have the integrity of, people actually wanting to play these games and wanting to love the games that are being out. Not crying, complaining about every time something's broken. It's
Right.
just, it's not cool.
I think he said his piece.
Yeah.
The infamous chasm of silence.
I mean, there's a lot of valid points in there. I
Yeah.
mean, it's the topic is pretty broad. I mean, it's a very open discussion. That's why I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to present it to the chat. I wanted to present it to you guys because, it's something that I think it affects us all at some point or another. I think everybody can relate to the fact that you've been disappointed by games that you thought were going to be good. And I just was wondering if people had the reverse effect where they went into a game thinking that it was going to be bad because they had these preconceived notions of what it's going to be, and then actually took the chance and played the game and found out, wow, I was wrong. This is actually a good game. Because we do tend to play games we think we like. We tend to not play games we don't think we're going to like. And that's what I'm saying is, do we sometimes rob ourselves of experiences because we have these preconceived notions that a game's not going to be good? We've played it for 20 minutes, and now we think it's the suckiest game we've ever played instead of playing it for 30 hours, and really getting into this game. I mean, are we kind of hurting ourselves a little bit? And if we are, is that translating or transferring over into the game industry as well, if you see what I mean? Because game sales are being affected by our decisions. I'm not going to buy that game because I don't think it's going to be any good. And it might quite possibly be the best game you've ever played had you played it in some way, whether that be borrow it from a friend and try it out, what have you, rent it from the red box, whatever. But you rarely ever see somebody get an idea in their head that a game's going to be bad and then try it anyway. We always play the games we think we're going to like, but it's rare that you actually try a game you don't like. I do that quite often. I hate to say it, but I'm one of those gamers that I'm really willing to try a game, even if I don't think I'm going to like it. And I've been wrong a lot of times because I just didn't think I was going to like it. And I'll give you a good example. Dragon Age Inquisition. Okay, I'm raising my hand right now because I am guilty of not wanting to play that game. I had no desire whatsoever to play Dragon Age Inquisition because I don't like those types of games. I absolutely cannot. I cannot play those types of games most of the time. I get bored with them. I get tired of all the side quest missions and things like that. Just not up my. I'm not going to go out and fan dust. I'm not going to go out of my way and buy this game, but I went out and purchased this game because you guys were like, hey, man, try it. I think you're going to like it. Normally, I don't like games like that, but I did. And again, it was because I had this preconceived notion that it was a game I would not like. And then I played it, and I enjoyed it. Now, is it my favorite game? No. But I can tell you now, I don't hate it like I did before I played it. So it changed my opinion. But again, preconceived notions of games, I think, oftentimes translates into not experiencing that game, and us not finding out for ourselves whether we like it or not. And that's why I was asking, do you guys think that's kind of a bad thing? Because we're kind of robbing ourselves of potential experiences that might change our mind.
Yeah, it's like Final Fantasy 13. If you play the first, let's say you played it for 2 hours and like, oh my god, this is awful, it's the worst Final Fantasy ever made, right? You didn't actually give it the 15 hours that it deserved to get into the linear. I mean, to get out of the linear where the game actually opens up. And to actually, the game storyline was, I don't know, absolutely amazing compared to, you know, some of the other ones that they had. You know me, I love 7 and 10 were my 2 favorite Final Fantasies. I also loved 8 and 9 as well. It just, people want to always think the most negative, and I told you I was the first one to and I went into this game blind, and it cost me $20. It was a brand new game when it came out, Phantom Dust, and now it's one of my favorite games of all time. I mean, I absolutely love this game, and we covered that they might be making a new one we covered a couple of weeks ago, and I'm absolutely ecstatic about it because I love Phantom Dust. It was one of those games that just sticks in your head that no matter what, it's going to be one of those great games always. And again, I do it a lot too. I mean, there's some games that are on Steam that I'll just blindly buy, not knowing if it's truly going to be great or not. And I end up liking the game. Matter of fact, BioShock. BioShock was one of them that I didn't know or think I was going to like. And I was already hating on the game before it came out. And I'm like, I ain't buying that game. What the hell do I want to buy that freaking game for? The game looks like a piece of crap. And then months later, I buy it for the PC, and all of a sudden, I'm loving the game. And then BioShock 2 comes out. And the same thing, I love the game. BioShock 3 comes out the same way. You know, one of those things that just stick with you. Bulletstorm is another one made by Epic, and I love Epic. Epic is one of my favorite game companies, and even Bulletstorm, I was like, I don't know. And even though it's made by Epic, it's still one of those things that you never know if you're really gonna like it or not. But it turns out it's one of my. It's up there with one of my all-time favorite shooters. We do it to ourselves, though. We really do. We try to. Oh, that game is trash. That game is garbage, and they don't even try it. Then, let's say, 6 months down the road, they finally pick it out from a bargain bin just to see it, or they rent it for the first time, and hey, this game is actually pretty goddamn good. Huh, what's going on here? It's one of those things, you know. But I don't know. I think we, as gamers, really need to change the way we operate.
Well, moving on a little bit here. I hate to kind of cut it short, but we do have other news to get to. But I mean, like all of our discussions, we can just go on for hours. I mean, we should have like just time where we just pick one subject and go for like 8 hours straight, because we could. We honestly could.
We both started good.
Well, and that one subject would lead to the others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a closing though that you wanted to close with on the subject? I think you did. You wanted to make a point.
Well, I just wanted to make a point with no, I didn't forget. I just was trying to choose not to do it or not. The point, there wasn't really a point. It was more an observation. It's like talking about hyping games and stuff like that. Talking about and going back on Destiny, when it first came out, and a lot of people were just doing the gameplay. I think Pandora. Do you remember what I did? Like after playing the game for a little bit, we were on the tower, and I spent half an hour watching a shadow. Yeah.
Yep. We did. We were so amused by that.
A lot of people do not stop and actually look at the little details of the game. I mean, if you come to think of it, this Destiny game is an amazing graphical game. And I'm just purely talking graphics on this one too. And just to briefly, what are you shaking your head, man? What are you shaking your head?
I don't agree with you.
You don't agree with me. So you don't agree that the mere simple fact that there is a moving sky that actually casts an actual physical shadow on your character, and that it is so intricate in detail that it actually casts a shadow of the plants that are there. Not only does most games when they're rendering their shadow outline, it'll cast a shadow, but if your character walks on top of that shadow, usually there's no change in it. Most likely, especially with console games, there's no change in it. If you actually walk in Destiny in front of the shadow, that shadow of the plant is actually going to be casted on to your character. It's not just going to be, your character's not just going to walk past it, and it's actually going to be casted onto your character, and it's the individual, the hitboxes for the actual plant will cast the lines accurately, and also the position of the sun will stretch the shadow in the right direction. To me, that is amazing, and that's in very small something that you just run by and don't even think about. But there is so much going on in that. I mean, I could go into even more detail about it, but I'm not going to. But I mean, there's more little stuff with this whole the rotation of the shadow, and everything that I could go in on hours and hours and hours. But
let me ask you a question, honest question. Do you think the graphics in Destiny are better than the graphics in Rage?
Yes.
I agree.
Ditto.
I do. I think
because it's Rage is earlier tech.
Rage is actually IT tech, which is still the only game made on the consoles using that technology, because no other game has been able to use it yet.
It's still earlier tech.
And it still doesn't make it better.
No, I'm not saying it's
better graphics.
I'm not saying it's trash. Not by all means, but I feel that the graphics in Rage, graphics in Destiny are better than Rage, and that's my opinion, mine alone.
I was just asking a question because I totally feel the opposite. I feel Rage's graphics are probably one of the best we've seen in a long time, whether it be on the PC and console, because of
still have my copy.
With the thing,
I still do.
I do too. I love just what you were just talking about, the stuff in Destiny. I seen in Rage.
I'll actually start playing that again. I do want to play that again.
It's one of those games that just sticks with you. Again, it's the graphics. So that's why I'm not trying to disrespect Destiny at all. And like I said, I don't hate Destiny to all into the earth, and I think it's the worst game ever made. I don't. I just don't like Destiny for my own reasons.
And I respect that.
Yeah, and that's really not the issue. Is liking it or hating it. You played it, so that's example of what That's exactly what we were kind of talking about. And this will close it out, so he can kind of move on to the other stories. But that's what we're saying. You played Destiny. I played Destiny. Tich has played Destiny. Sid's played Destiny. We've all experienced Destiny. That's why we have varying degrees of opinions, because we all have experienced it. You went into Destiny and you played it. Whatever your notions were for why you played it were your own, but you still played the game. You still experienced the game, and you have your opinions, and your opinions now are based on that experience of Destiny. The experience that you had with it, not because you didn't play it, but because you did play it.
And again, I didn't just play it once. I actually downloaded the demo and played it again because I wanted to see if anything has changed because I really want to like the game. I really do. I want to like it for everybody else, for you guys, so we can all like one game that is similar. But it's very hard for me to like that game because I could compare it to other games that are in the genre, and those games are better. In my opinion, they're better than Destiny is, and it's one of those.
If it's any consolation to you, Kaz, BCK brought up a notion that just reminded me. It's like, yes, I do think Destiny's graphics are better than Rage, but overall, I think The Last of Us Remastered takes the cake as far as graphics. They're incredible, in my opinion. I mean, I think that's better than Destiny.
I think Last of Us Remastered is prettier than Destiny. I also
Definitely
think
prettier.
the Order's 60. I think Order 1866 is prettier than The Last of Us. So it's my opinion.
Yeah.
Don't bite my head off.
No, I mean,
but
that's how we feel, though.
Yeah, I think to date, the Order 1866, and this is just me on a console. I can't speak for PC, but I honestly think that the Order 1866 is probably the best looking game on the PS4 to date. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't other games down the road, and I love Destiny, but Destiny, as beautiful as it is, and as pretty as it is, and as nice as those shadowing and the texturings are, I think that The Last of Us is slightly better than. I think The Last of Us is better than Destiny, and I think 1866 is even better than The Last of Us, and in probably that order as far as graphics are concerned, because I think Destiny is really a great looking game. But I do think that The Last of Us and 1866 is probably, graphically superior to Destiny. So, but that's my opinion.
Well, and moving on, and again, we could again speak for hours on all of this, and that's why I love this group is we can do that, and we get caught up and just keep talking. So yeah, but we do have, unfortunately, we do have other news to do.
We have other news.
We actually we have been neglecting. I mean, speaking of Destiny and all that, and because they are having a big update into DLC content coming up very, very soon. In fact, this coming Tuesday, we do have some news from Destiny with just a couple of days to go before Destiny's next expansion, the House of Wolves, which arrives this Tuesday, May 19th. Developer Bungie has discovered a late-breaking technical issue relating to update 1.2.0. It remains to be seen if this issue will impact House of Wolves' scheduled release next week, or this coming week. Excuse me. Quote, I've spoken with the finest minds of Bungie about update 1.2.0 just moments ago. They're working on to correct a late-breaking technical issue that will have an impact the way the game launches for a large portion of you. Bungie community manager Dave Doogie Hauser said in a post on Bungie's website, progress is being made. Update 1.2.0 was released last week, but it won't be activated until later. The update features a long list of changes, including major tweaks to commendations and more. Dig also went on to pledge that he'll update the community every day until the issue is sorted out. We'll be sharing new details on the development schedule that leads to House of Wolves as soon as they become facts, he explained. At the very least, you'll hear from me at least once a day about this. Hang in there, and thank you for your patience. So they didn't really talk about what the technical issue was, but apparently they are trying to fix it. So, I mean, there is no game that does not have its issues.
Not a game that big.
Right. Let's see. And other news. Actually, where are we here? We've been all over the place today. And other news, Fallout 4 cinematic trailer coming from Guillermo Del Toro Production Company. Filmmaker Guillermo Del Toro Production Company worked on a cinematic trailer for the unannounced but rumored Fallout 4, according to the online resume of someone who says they worked on it. As spotted by a video gamer, a Murata Studios contract employee listed Fallout 4 cinematic trailer on their LinkedIn page as a project they worked on December 2014 through March 2015. No other details are available. Fallout publisher, Bethesda has not formally announced Fallout 4, and one LinkedIn page should not be taken as confirmation that Fallout 4 is indeed in the works. However, it does appear that Bethesda is preparing to make a major announcement at E3 next month. The publisher is, for the first time ever, holding its own press briefing in Los Angeles. The event takes place Sunday, June 14th, before the official start of E3. Another report shows that this rumor is true. Update. Destructoid, and this is from the other report, Destructoid received an email from Murata Studios demanding that they pull this story. A representative cited inaccuracies, but also confirmed the story was breaking a non-disclosure agreement. As nobody at Destructoid signed a non-disclosure agreement, we're assuming that confirms somebody else broke the NDA. Wonder who that might be in trouble. Murata Studios, a CG studio set up by Guillermo Del Toro to work on narrative-based trailers for companies including Nintendo and Disney, apparently spent 4 months working in a cinematic trailer for Fallout 4, according to the LinkedIn profile of a 3D contract artist. So, this article, we had a big discussion before the show about this article, whether to actually talk about it, because it is huge news. But we really can't confirm. It's a lot of hearsay.
Yes, there is a lot of hearsay. We just to let you guys know in the chat, when I saw the story, Kaz and I actually saw that story about earlier in the week or something like that. Kaz,
Yeah, I posted it.
Yeah,
Thursday?
It's like Monday or Tuesday? Yeah. Anyways, he linked me up with that story, and I read it, and I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing. And we got excited about it. And then we, as we always do with everything, we kept up with the story. That's why we have that update. And we really did, before we brought that to you guys on the show, we had a meeting and really talked about how we wanted to present this news to you guys, because it is news. And it's one hand saying it exists and the other hand saying that it doesn't. But it is interesting that, you've got one studio telling the other one to yank a story down because they got some leads from an online source that is saying that this game is being developed. So it's kind of one of those things, and I think that's why we presented it to you guys. And we really did have a pretty long conversation about this story.
Yeah, the whole thing is they're breaking the NDA. I started laughing because Destructoid, who, is a big publisher, is saying, who broke the NDA? We signed the NDA. So how can we get in trouble for breaking the NDA when we're not even the one who signed the NDA? So we can say whatever we want.
You know who broke the NDA? It was Retro Godfather. He broke the NDA, so it's all on him.
That's right. Blame him.
Thanks, Retro.
Well, I like what BCK says when a game is leaked and the company acts like no one knows about it, and then do some big reveal like, surprise, it's a thing, guys. And we're like, we know.
Yeah, but it's one of those things like that Bethesda really wants to keep under wraps because of they are doing for the first time in their history, they actually moving from having a little booth to actually a big conference like Microsoft has, like Sony has, like EA has. These big companies, they don't have these little booths anymore. They have a big press conference that they release a huge game, and they were hoping that they can hold Fallout 4 till then, because it is a much loved and much anticipated game. That would be like Steam. This happened to the Steam with Half-Life 3. I mean, come on. That's been a game people wanted for the last 10 years, 15 years. So I love this story to the point where it's Fallout 4, something everybody has been wanting for the last 10 years? 7 years, whatever, since Fallout 3 came out, I don't know. You could take it with a grain of salt, or you can actually read between the lines saying, hey, I think this story's true.
I need to go AFK for just a few minutes, guys.
Nope,
I'll be
no
right
problem.
back.
Well, next up we do have Kaz's Corner. So, what do you have for us today? Any MMO news? Anything on your mind? Any esports? Or I'm sorry, Pandora, what were you?
Yeah, I did want to say something because
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Cats. I don't mean to cut you off, but we do try to pride ourselves on being professional about the things we cover. So this is a story retro that we will see how many more UFO sightings we can find on this news. In other words, we're not just going to drop this news story and then not follow up. We will continue to find out what's going on and separate rumor from truth. So we're not just carelessly throwing this story out there. We will pursue the story and where it actually goes. If it's a rumor, we'll say that it is. If we find out that there's a fact and is truth to this game, we'll say that as well. But we're not just going to cover it this one time. Be done with it. We will pursue it.
Save Point Show, bringing you terrible news, terribly.
That's right.
There was some news earlier this week, and I apologize because I really couldn't get to it.
That's okay.
About
Don't apologize, man. Don't
World
apologize.
of Warcraft banning people who are using bots per se, and they were banning a whole bunch of accounts that were doing it. And I really didn't look into it, and I apologize. Like I said, I will get to it and announce it next week. Dota 2, on the other hand, has now, from Monday till today, they've gained almost another $1 million for the compendium. So they are now up to $8.3 million in 14 days. That's crazy. That's 2 weeks raising $8.3 million for their prize money. That's insane.
So, guys, if they're listening out there, we're open to we're open to charity. If you want to send us just a buck or two, that's fine. Just saying.
I figured this story or this whole subject where I'm going to start talking about is it's a month out from E3, so it might be a little much, not mature enough to be saying right now, because I'm just throwing it out there that I think Sony is trying to, how can I say it nicely? Because I really can't say it nicely. Sony is trying to act like nothing is going to bother them and nobody can touch them right now. When you look at their lineup for this up and coming Christmas, they don't have any AAA titles listed as that's coming out. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I was a Sony fan, I'd be a little worried. Considering Xbox has Forza Motorsport 6, Halo 5 Guardians, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Gears of War Remastered, Quantum Break. Those are all big, heavy AAA titles coming out. That's a lot of swinging that they're doing. I think what hurt Sony more is the fact that Uncharted 4 is not coming out this year, because it would have been right around Christmas time that Uncharted 4 would have. And we all know that that's a huge system seller. If anybody didn't have a PlayStation 4 and is an Uncharted fan, you know that they will probably end up getting a PlayStation 4 with Uncharted for Christmas. It's just one of those things. Since you guys are all PlayStation fans, and here I am on the outside, not having really any new console, I'm kind of loving this. Sorry, I really do. I commend Xbox for having all these titles, and from a developer, Sony says that there's no way we would go into Christmas without a big AAA PS4 game. And then confirm that they have been told that the company has lined up a big schedule for quarter for 2015, some of which was still unannounced. No, I'm sorry. E3 is only a month away. Now, you're telling me from that month that all these games that are unreleased till 6 months down the road to them being released is enough time? I don't think so. I don't think any game at E3, unless it's been leaked a long time ago, like a Mad Max. We knew about this a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, and the game's coming out. I don't know about you guys, but I think Sony's trying to. They're trying to act like they're untouchable right now, and I love that. I really want them to not really sell many units this Christmas, and I want Xbox to just destroy them in unit sales. Because, again, when you have this many AAA titles, you know that Xbox will sell a lot this Christmas. Because of, and I'll just pick one of the titles that are coming out. Halo 5 Guardians. It's such a huge franchise that it's a system seller. It really is. And now that they have Tomb Raider as an exclusive, that could be another system seller. So when they have
timed exclusive.
I don't know if it's timed exclusive.
It's time.
But I mean, I'm not talking about just not AAA titles, because there is AAA titles that are coming out, like Assassin's Creed Syndicate's coming out, for all systems. So it's not in the new Call of Duty Black Ops. I'm talking about their own, and they have No Man's Skies coming out, which could be a big deal, but it's an indie game type of, it's one of those things that are on the fence. I want to know what you guys think about it.
Do you want to go, Sid?
Well, I'm going to sit and think a little more. I mean, that's a tough question. I mean,
So
personally, I think that Christmas is a long way away. I think that E3.
We just hit the half year mark, pretty much.
Yeah. I think that E3 is going to be a big game changer for both consoles. I'm not excluding Xbox, because let me just put this out there. I know, Kaz, you probably do think that I hate the Xbox, but I was telling you before the show, I love my Xbox 360 more than my PlayStation 3. It is my console of choice in the last generation. It took a lot for me to jump over on the PlayStation 4. It did, because I love the Xbox 360 so much. Do I think that they're going to crush the PlayStation? Absolutely not. I think they will I think they will have a good Christmas. I think Microsoft will sell a lot of consoles, probably more this year than they ever have, because of the titles that they are launching. Now, I agree with you there.
price drop.
Right. Do I think that Sony PlayStation is going to sit back and do nothing to give PlayStation 4 owners something to want for Christmas? Absolutely not. Just like I will say this, they have been at everything that Xbox has done this year, or since the launch of the Xbox One. PlayStation has outdone them, and to the point of where they even embarrassed them with their whole campaign within 15 minutes of Xbox One announcing that you could not play games, you could not lend your friends games from one Xbox One to another, because they were going to be restricted to consoles only. And within 15 minutes, there's a video posted up from PlayStation's camp showing two guys in an office building going, hey, here's how you can share a game on the PlayStation. And he hands it over to his buddy, and he goes, thank you. I think PlayStation has got Xbox's number. I think they're going to make fools out of them this Christmas. I think Xbox is going to sell. I do. But I do not think that it's going to kill nor destroy the momentum that the PlayStation 4 camp has got, because whatever it is that PlayStation is doing right now, they're doing it right. They're marketing right. Yeah, I understand they've got game delays, but they got a big game coming out called No Man's Sky coming. And you can believe they're going to give it the AAA title treatment because that's going to be a big game. PlayStation has got some big games coming. Xbox will sell very well at Christmas because of Halo. If for any other title, Halo's going to do it. I totally agree with you on that. They may even go so far as to outsell the PlayStation in the month of November, maybe even December. But will they catch them? I don't think so. I don't think 2 months out of 3 years is going to catch the momentum that the PlayStation is, because PlayStation is selling millions and millions of units. And the PlayStation camp is continuing to sell those. It's going to get interesting, in my opinion, Kaz, after Christmas. I think that Xbox is going to gain momentum probably around November, December. They're going to sell a lot of consoles. I agree with you. I do think that they potentially could outsell the PlayStation because, let's face the facts, they just outsold the PlayStation in the month of April. So, is it possible? Yes, but I think what's going to happen is Microsoft is going to nail something around November and December. They're going to nail something with the gamers, and they're going to get enough gamers to buying their product that will transition and carry over into the next year. And I think my Xbox will, in the year 2016, is going to continue to gradually gain momentum as the PlayStation probably will level out. And eventually, 3-4 years into both life cycles of these two consoles, their numbers are going to get closer and closer. Now, that's just my honest opinion. I think at some point these two consoles are going to get somewhere close to even numbers. I do agree with you there. I think Xbox has done one heck of a job getting titles, whether it be exclusive or whether it be timed exclusives, and has worked their tails off to try to give gamers something to buy their console. And I think we're going to see a little bit of a change of guard maybe in 2016. But I think the Christmas holiday just might be what Xbox needs to, you know what I mean, to kind of jumpstart that. But they got a lot of work cut out for them, and I don't think the PlayStation camp is just going to sit back and just let them do it. I think that, like Tich said just jokingly, I see some price slashing coming. I see PlayStation offering exclusive deals. I see it getting very competitive, Kaz. I think the story you've got is a proof of that. I think that the PlayStation guys, the Sony camp, is seriously going to have to start pulling out stuff. Because you're right, they have been kind of riding the success right now. But it is going to get interesting around December. You really truly are onto something there. It's going to get very interesting. Trust me. I can't wait to see it, because I want both consoles to succeed, because it's only good for us.
Yeah,
I don't want one to win. I don't want either one to win. I want them to be competitive.
And again, I mean, you know that I don't hate the PlayStation, and I own a PlayStation 3. I'm a huge fan of it. I love the PlayStation 3. And we saw it with the last gen. I mean, we saw Xbox 360 just taking off and destroying the sales of PlayStation 3 numbers. And then all of a sudden, with arguably you can call it because of the Red Ring of Death, is what the ultimate downfall of the Xbox 360 was. And PlayStation decided to, started creeping up. So I really think it would be interesting if this happens again, where PlayStation is so far ahead, whether it be 20 million units. We don't know exactly the number. It could be, 15 million units. It might be 20 million units. We don't know. But I would love to see what PlayStation has up their sleeve, because if they don't have anything up their sleeve and they caught with their pants down, this really can hurt their success. And it really can hurt their momentum. Their momentum could go the other way, where
It can shift. Yep.
I mean, and I'm not saying that they don't have big titles coming out, because we know Until Dawn there's really no release date of it. Then that could be a title that could be, coming out this winter or this Christmas. But again, I don't know if that's a big enough title to consider being a system seller. I mean, unless you're a Hayden fan, who knows? I mean, I love that Xbox has all these titles, and again, it's Gears of War remastered. It's a big title. I mean, whether it be a remake of an old game, it's still one of those things that are just too big to not overlook.
Right.
Sid?
Sid, Tich, either one.
It's really hard to say because it's a constant cat and mouse game with them, and one's going to benefit over the other, and then it's going to fluctuate. It's definitely going to fluctuate, and that's kind of how it's almost always been. I mean, Xbox was really strong during the 360 years. PlayStation was just trailing behind. Sony is really strong in the next gen. The PlayStation 4 years. These next gen years. So I mean, it's hard to say. And again, from what BCK was saying in the chat, he thinks gamers should have access to everything. Yes, I totally agree, but that doesn't help us. I mean, it's a nice thought. But I agree with Pandora. I want competition. Competition brings people Innovation, yes, exactly, because it inspires people to be competitive, to make a better product. Because if we had a better game, better product, whatever, what have you. If we have equality across the board, no monopolies. Or well, theoretically, it would be a monopoly. There would be no inspiration to make a better game, other than pure interest. There would be there would be nothing to back that up to try to beat, a different game or something like that. There would be no competition. There would be no inspiration, no innovation. Just like Pandora was saying. So I know Kazan was about to say something. What were you going to say?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, even a system that's dying like the Wii U.
Yeah. Well,
they have a lot of good lineups for this Christmas.
Right.
They have like 4 or 5, or even 6 really strong games that are coming out. So even they have their, Christmas that's going to be booming.
Right.
And here's a console who's supposedly in first place, and they don't have anything coming out.
Well, that's not reported yet.
It would be really interesting if what we all speculate as consumers and gamers ends up being like a wrestling match in the what is it, WCW? No, not WCW. What is it?
WWE.
WWE. It's a wrestling match. Yes, there's these conflicting opponents and such like that, but in the background they're shaking hands together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be very interesting if we were all wrong about this, and this is a huge ploy, and they are just playing us, which could be totally true. And I mean, okay, Sony, you've had a nice run this couple of years. We're gonna let Xbox catch up just a little bit. We're gonna give them a chance. Well, we're gonna give them a chance. Nice job on screwing up the Xbox One. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, Sony. Nice job on really doing that PS4. Really, I'm not saying this is true. But it'd be really interesting if it was true.
I honestly think in the background
it might be, exactly.
I think that, and you already know how I feel about this, is I think Nintendo's sitting there laughing at both of them. I really think Nintendo's sitting there laughing at both of them, because when Nintendo comes out with a new system,
oh yeah,
in 2016, I think it's gonna blow the doors off of both of them.
Hopefully. And it's a long time coming for Nintendo. They need They need this. I mean, you can't. That was the big controversy with the Wii U. Do we call it next gen? Because it's basically just a little bit better version of the Wii. I mean, there's not really that much difference other than the touchpad. So, and of course, the HD. But I mean, that's all they added to it, really. So it's a long time coming for Nintendo to bring out a new console to basically jump back into this console war and get their games out there.
I would love to see Sega to get back in it, but they're at the point where they're just...
I still pray, because they were the leaders of innovation. They just had bad timing. Just bad timing.
Here's how I see Nintendo. I don't see Nintendo. I don't see Nintendo as being a direct competitor of Microsoft or Sony. I think Nintendo is just Nintendo. The thing that Nintendo does and has always done is bring innovation. They don't do things that the other two consoles are doing, and I think that Nintendo has always presented new types of technology and new types of ways of playing games that the other two just haven't figured out yet. For example, when the Wii came out, you had the Wii Remote, with the tracker. I mean, Sony and Microsoft didn't have that. There was no Kinect at that time. There was no eye camera. There was none of that stuff. The Nintendo camp brought that whole motion camera, the tracking thing. They brought that technology. They're innovators. They don't really consider. I don't really consider them like the same in sense. They do present they do build a console, but I think that when I think of Nintendo, I think of guys that try to push gaming to a new level. With new inventions and new ways of playing games. I'm not saying that Sony and Microsoft don't do it. I'm saying that I think Nintendo tries to do it first. They try to push it a little bit. They try to offer new ways to play, like I said. But when it comes down to the two, what is considered the two big giants, the big dogs. So, what's wrong?
I popped my neck. My bad.
Sorry, go ahead. I thought something technically went wrong. But when it comes to the two big camps, everybody refers to them as the big dogs going at it. It's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like Batman and the Joker. You can't have one without the other. They both bring out the good and bad in each other, and ultimately you can't have what exists between Batman and the Joker without both Batman and the Joker. And I think that same type of thing applies here, and I don't want to say which one is Batman and which one is the Joker, because people will argue, Microsoft is the Batman, and who cares? The point is, they need each other to exist, because without that other developer, without that other console manufacturer, we're left with just the one guy. I don't get on to Microsoft because I hate their product. I get on to Microsoft because I want Microsoft to step their damn game up. I want them to stop making excuses for why their GPU is less, why their CPU is this. Oh, it's going to get so much better with the integration of Windows 10. I could give I could care less about Windows 10 integration. It doesn't do a thing for me, for my gaming whatsoever. Talk to me about these games. Talk to me about why I bought the PlayStation 4 and sold my Xbox One. PlayStation 4 is absolutely getting it right. They are producing games, and they are focusing on me as a gamer, and that is what they are offering me. Microsoft is trying to offer me everything but that. Now, here recently, they have started adding some good games to their library. That's what Kaz is talking about. That's why December is going to be really, really interesting for Microsoft, because I think now they're finally starting to listen a little bit, because, we've had a change of guard. Phil Spencer's in charge now, and I think he is doing everything in his power to do what PlayStation is doing, but for Microsoft. And I mean, I know Microsoft has got other things they're trying to do, but that's all smoke screens for me. That's all smoke screen and mirrors. I don't want to hear about that. I don't care. I mean, honestly, do you guys as gamers really care on your console, whether it's got Windows 10 integration or not? I mean, does that really, really factor into your gaming purchasing? I mean, is that really going to sell a console to you? It's not for me.
It will for me.
I'm not going to go out and buy it because of that. I could care less.
I already told you why I like that. Why I was thinking about buying an Xbox One over PlayStation 4. And, I mean, a PlayStation 4, if I buy an PlayStation 4, I get the game with you guys. That's the biggest plus for it, right?
Right.
But I like the fact that Microsoft is doing the cross-platform with the PC. I find that really interesting and intriguing with their Fable Journey. I mean, that's the first title that's going to have it. But I mean, again, Pandora, you're saying that you don't care if it has Windows 10 or not.
I don't.
Earlier reports are already showing, just from the PC side of things, that we're getting a 30% boost from GPU and CPU power. That Windows knows how to use less of the resources for CPU and GPU, making it that much stronger for gaming.
In PC, right?
Huh?
In PCs, right?
Right. I don't know how it's working. Well, there's really no word about if it's doing the same thing for the Xbox, which I honestly think it does, because if it's the Xbox is built the same way a PC is, with a GPU and a CPU. So it's not built on the old architecture like Nintendo uses. So it might come out to the same way where it's 30% stronger. Who knows? But I mean, like I said, I really wanted to see what you guys thought of this whole December,
It's gonna be interesting.
and do you think that if these unsold called games that are going to be released at E3 or shown at E3 or announced at E3, if that's enough time for them to really make it into the market without issues, without being rushed, Cause
you're talking about the games, yeah.
Because PS4, like I said, they say that they do have games up their sleeve that are not even announced yet. So E3's less than a month away, less than 30 days away. I mean,
I think both of these camps do hide things from us, and I think they do go into E3 with things that have been in development that they have hidden from us. Here's my thing with what you're saying, Kaz. I just don't think that one console is doing something and then the other camp is just going to sit back, because it's ridiculous to think that no matter what Microsoft does, that PlayStation camp is not going to counter. It's silly to think that the things that PlayStation is doing, Microsoft is not going to counter. That's what I'm talking about. I think that both camps have got people in this industry that are telling each other's camps what each other is probably revealing at E3 that we don't know about, but they know. I'm pretty sure Microsoft is pretty aware of what PlayStation has in store at E3 reveal that the general public doesn't know, and I think vice versa. I think PlayStation's got people that knows what Microsoft is planning to do, because it's like a spy game. They want the edge. Each one wants to know what the other one is up to, and that's good for us that these two are going at it. So I'm more on your side than you think I am. I really want Microsoft to get this right, man. I want them to really get this Xbox in gear. I want them to get the games. I want them to start putting some fantastic titles out there. I want them to make PlayStation work hard, because it's best for us if they do. I'm not hating on them because I want to hate on them. I just want them to step it up, and it seems like they're trying. I'm giving them kudos. I agree, man. I don't know if the titles that they've got released or that they're hiding from us in E3 is going to be ready in time for Christmas or not. I don't know, because I don't know what they've got. I don't know what the PlayStation camp is hiding from us, but it better be something juicy.
Is it? I mean, but like
because I'm telling you, Halo 5 is going to be a massive seller. It Sony knows
For the
this.
mere fact that it's Halo.
right, and I mean,
Exactly.
we don't know. Maybe Sony has Jack and Dexter being.
Who knows?
But
Yeah.
I don't think that that's a strong enough AAA title to compete with in Halo.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either.
I don't.
No.
I
put it in
don't
the same
really
ballpark.
know of any other AAA title that's strong enough to compete with Halo. Like off the top of my head, I think I would really have to sit down and think.
A Star Wars game.
I would too.
PlayStation is going to have Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah, but that's I'm not talking about that. And so is.
I know.
Microsoft.
I'm just saying
Well,
that's coming out in November. We don't know everything that Sony's going to have out for Christmas. I think they're holding on to their cards and they're not letting anybody see their hand until they have to deal it. And that's what I think Sony's doing.
Well, and that's what we were saying. That maybe that because they say that they have tricks up their sleeve for, and that they get announced at E3. But again, if we haven't seen them yet, I really fear that they are not going to come out in time for
Swinging. Yeah.
for Christmas because they're waiting so long. Unless they are 75% done already. I mean, who knows? But if they're 75% done, I figured that we would at least have something in the news about them already, and we don't. None of these big AAA titles that we can. So,
But to validate your own point of view, don't you think this is a good thing though for Microsoft? Because I do. I think the fact that Sony is having to hold cards, like Tich said, as well as said earlier, I think the fact that they are having to play the mysterious game and try to hold these cards, I think it's keeping PlayStation honest. Because I'm telling you, man, PlayStation has known that this Halo title is coming. And they've known about it since the existence of the Xbox One. I know for a fact they're not stupid. They haven't been stupid yet. Since this whole generation of consoles have started, they've not done anything stupid just yet. I don't think they're going to do it now either. I think they're playing this game on purpose because of Halo 5. That, to me, is exactly why I'm glad you brought this conversation up, because I think it's keeping PlayStation honest. I mean, not in the sense of trying to hide titles from us, but in the sense that they are having to, they know going into this Christmas they have got to play
With
their best cards.
With the anticipation of Halo 5, it's going to push
it's gonna be
Sony.
huge.
Well, it's going to push Sony to do something better, and that is where the conflict
Right.
needs to happen. So hopefully,
Exactly.
I agree with you, Kat. I don't know what's next month, E3. I don't know what they're gonna, what type of cards they're going to put on the table, but I do hope it's something we could look forward to. But because they are pushing, they are pushing a lot of the games that I've been looking forward to. They've been pushing them back, and I just hope they don't just forget about them.
I mean, we don't know. We don't even know what's going on in Microsoft's camp either.
Right.
Microsoft could
Exactly.
have another 5.
The only
Exactly.
thing we do know is Halo. That's it.
Well, that's it. Well,
Yeah.
all the ones that I said already, those
Yeah.
are all coming.
Oh, yeah.
The only slight change could be what the hell's that? The Quantum Break. That might get delayed a little later. We don't know. That seems like that's what the case is going to happen. But who knows? It could be Phantom Dust might be in the a game that they released at E3 saying it's coming this Christmas.
What's going to happen? Sony is going to get the rights, and they're going to unleash a tornado that's just going to wipe out E3, and they're going to announce the reckoning and the coming of Battletoads 2, and it's just going to wipe out everybody. Everyone's just going to go, I'm done.
Hey, Phil Spencer's the one with the Battletoads shirt.
I know, right?
It might be a
I-
Xbox exclusive.
I know.
You never.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, I'll probably pick up another Xbox One again, Kaz. I know I will, because I can't wait to just sit there on my couch and go, Xbox One, turn on my PlayStation 4. Now let's do some gaming.
Honestly, I think as long as that voice command does work with the Xbox sign out, if I do ever get an Xbox One, I am changing my gamer tag to Xbox sign out. So I love that feature. Okay. Well, thank you so much for that discussion and that debate, and not debate, but more so discussion. And that's I can't wait for E3. I really can't wait for E3, and then E3 will hopefully answer some questions that we all have. Next up, we do have some Tich's news. What you got for us today?
We have some interesting news going on in The Sims. Let me pull that up. I have it. I just need to find it. It's in my repertoire here. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So, you guys have been invited to a Sims 4 luxury party stuff pack. It's coming next week, this Tuesday. Yes, this announcement was posted on May 13th by Sim Guru Grant Rodiak. Image 1 shows the get to work, not the get to work, a luxury party stuff pack for The Sims 4. Get fancy. It's called Luxury Party Stuff because it is just that, luxury party. As our longtime players will know, past stuff packs have featured new clothing and furniture themed around a specific idea. But with the Sims 4 stuff packs, they're also going to be adding new gameplay to the mix. And The Sims 4 is releasing the first stuff pack on May 19th for just $10. EA has announced that. That's confirmed. It's a luxury pack, which means it adds a bunch of fancy high-end furniture, clothing to the game, as well as 2 new objects with new sim actions associated with them. A drinking fountain and a banquet table. Snazzy. As seen in Image 2, let's talk about the party stuff specifically. It's all about high-end red carpet party till dawn bashes that require, nay, demand, all the trappings and majesty of the right crowd. The pack features stunning dresses, suits, makeup, and accessories for the Sims in your neighborhoods, and we're really able to set the scene with pulsing, glowing, beat-magnifying objects like a new bar, sculptures, and killer lighting. They'll be perfect for revising your neighborhood's local lounges and bars. In Image 3, it has 2 awesome new gameplay objects that are essential for throwing a fantastic party. Firstly, the banquet table, which you can fill with recipes for your Sims to prepare themselves or quickly stock it with new appetizers. Nobody should party on an empty stomach. The second object is the new food/drink fountain, which you can place on top of the banquet table. Streaming from the top are all sorts of delicious things to consume, including rich, decadent chocolate, perfect for the strawberries, and several other delightful delicacies. There's even room for mischief and more, especially for Sims gifted in the culinary and mixology skills. I'm thinking that they're going to add new recipes. We're excited. We hope that you're excited too. The invitation goes out today, and the party begins next week, is what the post said. Assemble your posse of style-inclined friends and join us at the luxury party. And stay tuned for more news and get your party clothes ready. Image 4 is just the news and info picture. I have some update news on 5/14/2015. The PC version of the Sims and the Mac version were updated. EA said to the Sims community, "Hey Simmers, we know it's been only a short while since our most recent release, and we've just a small update here as we are getting ready for the up-and-coming release of the Sims 4 Luxury Party Stuff Pack." So, what have they got for us? What's new? There is a few things added for the Stuff Pack. Sims that your household knows can call you up and invite you to some of their events. Sims in a relationship might get a call to go on a date. Your child's friend might ask them over for a play date. So, or if you're ready to age up but have not aged up, Friends can call and ask you to join them for their birthday party. If you have the age turned off on the options panel, this will not invalidate the option. However, if you attend the birthday party, the sim throwing the party will age up as a result of the party. So it'll override the option of no aging. Issues that have been fixed. They fixed an issue where the social ask on date was not working correctly. However, if you choose the same action from the relationship panel or the phone, it was 100% guaranteed to succeed. They've changed that now. The relationship panel and phone options now have the same chance for success and failure as the social. So, fixed an issue that was preventing the Create a Sim tutorial to advance properly in some cases when the genetics panel was active, and fixed an issue that would cause the phone to ring only when the game was paused. I just have this picture of a family frozen on The Sims, unable to reach the ringing phone. The parents are fine. They're fine. They've trained themselves not to answer the phone. But the teens are going crazy with silent screaming, unable to claw their way to the ringing phone. It's a movie called The Unanswered in my head. They fixed a few They fixed a few text errors in the chance card for level 4 of the writing career. Is that kind of ironic? I'm done. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
Drop your mic.
Drop.
Drop the mic and walk on out. Yeah. Okay. I do want to take this time for a split second to thank the recent followers. Reziv500. I hope I said your name right. Thank you so much for the follow. The Only Is Me. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Save Point Show. And Chemistry Cat. Thank you so much again. If you guys are still here, sorry we didn't get you in time when you did follow us, but thank you again. Let's see. In other news, we do have a little bit of an update on the new, the Tom Clancy's The Division. It is almost precisely 1 year ago that Ubisoft announced that Tom Clancy The Division would be delayed in 2015. And today, to mark the near anniversary of that event, Ubisoft revealed that Tom Clancy The Division will once again be delayed to 2016. The news came by way of page 19 of Ubisoft's FY15 earnings presentation, released today in a PDF format, which states rather blithely, that's a new word, that the highly anticipated open. I learned a new. No, it's okay. I learned a new word today. Blithely, I like it. Highly anticipated open world MMORPG with amazing graphics will release in the fourth quarter of its 2015 fiscal year. In calendar terms, that puts it somewhere between January 1st and March 31st of 2016. Yay! More waiting. So, my entire hype for lack of a better term, my internal hype boner is gone. When it comes out, it comes out.
It'll be
So
out.
anyways, it'll eventually come out. Well,
It's
hopefully.
coming out.
It's coming
Yeah,
out.
I mean, come on. Is it?
The hype of it, the
is it-
nostalgia of the hype of it is just, it's gone though. It is gone.
It's, you know what? Ubisoft needed to do something clear up their schedule.
I agree.
And I hate to say it, but that's the game that got the axe. Because Rainbow Six Siege
Yeah.
has to come out this year. I mean, it has to. It has to be one of those games that just comes out. And then we have Assassin's Creed, which you know that they can't screw up anymore, because if they do, they are already on the chopping block as it is. So unfortunately, Division, as much as I wanted it to come out in 999 million, 6 billion, whatever, how you want to call it, fans wanted it to come out this year. It's one of those. It's one of those things that it really hurts. It really does.
And unfortunately, it does happen. I mean, it's really sad to see on such a most anticipated game. You know,
I think if it would have came out this year, that would have been a title that I was seeing at Christmas. If it came out Christmas, that would sell freaking millions and
Oh, absolutely.
millions of copies, and without a doubt.
Considering it was supposed to be a release game.
Again, yeah, but then it was originally supposed to be a release game, but then it was originally not even supposed to be on the consoles. It was only supposed to be PC. That was it.
Yeah.
At first, it was only supposed to be PC. Then it was become, PC with a tablet, and then PC tablet consoles now. So, and that's the way it stood. But,
Yep.
Kaz, let me ask your opinion on this then. Do you think that this is just Ubi's way of trying to deal with the year they've been having, moving the division with the issue with Assassin's Creed and the way that it launched? And because these two games have something in similar, they both are running on new game engines. And do you think that part of that logic is because of the issues that they had with Unity and possibly other titles that they think may have a more successful launch? And so one game gets bumped down and another gets bumped up. I mean, do you honestly think that any of that has anything to do with it, or no factor at all?
I'll answer that, Kaz. Actually, I think the delay is actually more so that Ubisoft is trying to add more towers in their game.
And more dives?
you
had to go there, didn't you?
I do.
All right. All these new games, because Ubisoft already announced that then they're not making games. I hate to say it, but they're not making games for the 360 or the PlayStation 3 anymore. So everything from now on out is going to be on this new engine. Okay? So Unity was the first blow. Unity was the first game to ever come out on this engine. So obviously, they're always, with a new engine like that, there's always going to be those little issues and bugs.
Exactly.
But with Unity, it wasn't little issues; it was really game-breaking issues.
A lesson well learned, hopefully.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I think that Ubisoft is trying to redeem themselves with every ounce of power that they got. I mean, like you were saying, that they went out and hired those two guys to make sure that. What was it? What'd you call it? Unity didn't happen again? I mean,
right.
So, and these guys probably make more than what Sid was saying, than them giving out these free games for the season passes. Season pass owners. They gave out the Crew or any of these other games that you wanted.
It's like five, like basically AAA titles that.
Right. And it was like $6 games. So, I mean, you figure 1 million people, had bought the season pass or whatever. That's $60 million right there. That's not a little dollar at all. I mean, so I think that they're really trying to smarten their way up, and I think with Siege coming out, and there's really no release date for Siege, and they could very well push Siege to next year as well, and just focus on all their resources working on the Assassin's Creed and making sure the Assassin's Creed is the best that it possibly can be. But that's the only thing I can see. And like I said, this is a very big week for Ubisoft, whether it be good news or bad news, because they released 4 trailers for Assassin's Creed Syndicate alone. They released the Collector's Edition and what the Collector's Edition is going to have, and then they released some of the other little gadgets like the cane sword, so you can buy the cane sword for $60 and look around cool with it. I mean, it's pretty cool, and half the things they were releasing. So we don't know exactly what they're in line of thinking. I personally think that they're just trying to recoup of what happened last year. Last year was a bad year. They need to scratch it off and really make sure that this doesn't happen again, because Ubisoft was one of those companies that we can always rely on to release a great game without any problems. And And yes, this was the only Assassin's Creed that they ever made that was bad. And again, it really wasn't that it was bad. It was game breaking and it had a lot of bugs and issues. The story wasn't bad.
It was a new thing for them. They had to build it back from the ground up with this new engine.
The characters wasn't bad. As much as I hate Arno and I don't like Arno, I still think the character was okay. Was it the best story in the world? No. I mean, I still thought it was a good game. But
I like the game.
now, Syndicate, on the other hand, I think Syndicate's going to be 10 times better. It's intriguing me alone. Be able to play either of the, be able to play Jacob and assist the Eevee. And I know you can't always play Eevee. I know you're playing Jacob probably 60% of the game, or 75% of the game. You're playing Eevee the other, whatever. But I think that's a cool. And that's what I said last week. I hope that they do something where it intrigues me with these characters, because I don't want something stale or reskinned like Arno was. Arno was a reskinned version of Ezio. Now, I'm glad that they're doing something that's gonna really go out there, and it sucks. I mean, I'm right with you said. I was looking for the Division 2. I mean, it's one of those things that.
And we all know that if Kaz will have his way, he will be replaying the EV part over and over and over again and repeating that as much as possible.
I just, you know what? I thought she was cute. I mean,
oh well, yes, you made that well known that you thought she was cute.
She was cute. A freckled, cute little, still, you know, innocent, cute looking girl.
All right. Well, what we do have up next is we don't have a lot of indie games news, but there is one game I do want to share with you. Well, actually, there's two of them. One of which we have been basically promoting a lot, but we'll get to that one last. The first game that I do want to get into is called Invisible, and this is a game that I found on Steam. I've been playing this game. I'm sort of addicted to it because it's a strategy game, it's a stealth game, it's freaking hard, but it's an indie game that basically is built on stealth, and you're a spy agency that is trying to infiltrate the enemy or whatever the enemy is, and they have actually taken over your. They have found your headquarters, so your agency is scattered. So what you have to do is gather information to bring back basically your agency to combat it. And you have initially you have 3 days to do it. You can change the time though. And then you are equipped with whatever skills you have, like very basic skills of hacking and combat, and you're also equipped with an AI personality known as Incognito or Incogna or something like that. That helps you with the hacking. So this is Invisible, and let me run that trailer here. If I remember how to push buttons.
Corporate firewall breached. Infiltration successful.
So that is Invisible. And there's Destructoid again making a comment, and I promise you there was no NDAs breached on this game. Okay, so yeah, it's a turn-based game, and it's pretty challenging. It really is. I've I haven't gotten past the 3rd level because I keep screwing up and I have to restart my entire game. So, but it is a fun game. The next one, like I said, we've been promoting it for quite some time now. We are still waiting to hear from Nick, who is the developer of Empyrean Rule, to when the alpha will come out. And once we do get the announcement of the alpha, hopefully we'll be getting some keys for you guys to give away. We'll give away keys for Empyrean Rule. And so far, I mean, I need to get back on the game and start playing again. I'm going to stream some more of that of the pre-alpha footage, and I just really can't wait for this game. Earlier we were talking about overhyping this game, but I don't think there's. I think there's no reason not to overhype this game because from what we've seen, is just incredible.
And again, I mean, I'm looking at the Kickstarter again. Let's get 71 backers, $7,496 that raised out of 40,000, and they only got 10 days to go for this Kickstarter. It really makes me sad. It does.
See, they should have just put instead of the Empyrean Rule Kickstarter, they should have just put potato salad on the top of that, and they would have gotten in 2 hours the funds they needed. So, but here we are again. We're going to show the trailer, another trailer. I think different from last week. Then here we go. Sorry. Empyrean Rule. man, every time I see that, I get really hyped up for that. That's a little bit more in-depth look of Empyrean Rule. Not only does it have the skirmishes that we've been streaming, it's going to have like a full economy system. It's going to be basically like a MMORPG / Risk game. So you're going to have your castles, your clans, and your guilds and such like that, and you're going to be battling it out with other people, or you could be co-oping with other people as well. So. Cool stuff, man. I really can't wait. I do need to play a little bit more of that. Let's see. Tich.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the Xbox news? Do you have that up?
Yeah, I can do that.
And
I
Pandora.
just I wanted to touch on a game that we talked about last week too. Real quick.
Sure. Yeah. Well, why don't you go ahead and do that right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because the PS4 and the Xbox Ones, at least the Xbox One, it can be put on hold. It's just not that important.
The game Arc that everybody was really
Yes.
interested in last week. We did find out that the console version won't be out until summer of 2016. So you guys, I'm sorry, but you have a little bit of a wait time before you guys can play Arc. So if I'll be wallowing in it, in the basket in it and rubbing it in everybody's face because I'm a PC gamer and I get it first.
Well,
I get it next week.
No, Caslin. You're not the only PC gamer in this
I
group.
know.
I'm the only one that's not.
So
So guess who else will be rubbing it in your face?
we'll be rubbing it in everybody else's face and we'll be basking and blowing.
Not really.
All three of us will do co-op and rub it in everybody else's face. How about that?
Kaz, but look, make sure you rub it here, though. I don't want it on my beard. Or rub it in my beard.
I have my chicken wings on my beard, and I want that taste to stay in there. That's
right.
all. Yeah. Do you see my beard? I have a beard going. Do you see that? No, you don't. Okay.
Yeah.
It was actually a tweet from one of the developers of Arc came out and on Twitter and says, because one of the fans asked, when's the release date for the console for the PS4? And he said that's when he came out and said summer of 2016. I'm sure you'll be able to tune into any of our streams in the next month and watch us play it. So if you're interested in it, then you can watch us play it.
All right. Tich, why don't you go ahead with the Xbox news then?
Okay, Xbox One news.
Thank you, Kaz, by the way.
Over the past couple of days, testers for a contracting company called VMC Games have been leaking out videos from their current project, the upcoming unannounced Gears of War remake for Xbox One. As you might expect, neither VMC or Microsoft is pleased with these videos, and today the two companies came down hard, telling testers in an email that the leakers have been banned from VMC's program and will lose access to their Xbox Ones entirely for a period of time to be determined by Microsoft in the future. Following a number of video leaks from a wide-scale beta test of the upcoming Gears of War remake, the game testing company VMC said in a memo that Microsoft that had both permanently banned the leakers from Xbox Live and temporarily disabled their consoles, rendering them useless. Said VMC, Microsoft has permanently disabled their Xbox Live accounts, as well as other suspected accounts present on their Xbox One kits, and temporarily blocked all of their Xbox One privileges, meaning that for a period of time which Microsoft decides on depending on the severity of the offense, their Xbox One is entirely unusable. However, in a statement sent to Kotaku this evening, Microsoft denied VMC's claims, saying that the fact that the leakers' consoles are still usable offline. To be clear, if a console is suspended from Xbox Live for a violation of the terms of use, it can be used offline. Microsoft enforcement action does not result in a console becoming unusable. Suspensions for both consoles and accounts are determined by looking at a number of factors. To avoid enforcement action, including suspension from the service, Users should follow the Xbox Live Terms of Use and Code of Conduct. Microsoft would not expand upon this statement, clear up VMC's comments, or clarify as to whether they actually have the ability to render consoles totally unusable. Of course, the Xbox One is crippled without access to Xbox Live. Offline players are unable to download patches, even those required to play certain games, or access online-only games like Destiny. But there's a big difference between what VMC claimed and what Microsoft is now saying. Personally, I think that if you do something like that, leak a beta testing program, you should be IP banned. No question. You actually sign a thing when you do beta testing that says you will not reveal things that they told you not to.
If it's under the NDA, yeah.
Yeah, I've been beta testing. I've done that.
Yeah, Sunderland does bring up a good point. I mean, this was, I took this article from Wednesday-ish of the last week. There was an update to this, and then there's absolutely no consoles were bricked. So, but I think there was a temporary IP hold on them. So, all right, and last but not least, we do have some PS4 news. Pandora, would you do the honors of that?
Sure. Are you asking me to read out in class?
Yes,
read
please.
out loud in class?
Yes. Would you start from paragraph on page 49, paragraph 4?
Well, yes, I'd be happy to do that.
And is that gum? Did you bring enough to everybody?
No, I don't bring gum. I bring cupcakes, baby. Cupcakes.
Well, where's my cupcake?
Bring enough for everybody.
Red velvet cupcakes too, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, you're excused. You're excused.
All right, Sony news. Let's do this. PS4. Recently, Sony started sending out invitation for its E3 2015 press conference. Both Nintendo and Microsoft announced their own E3 plans earlier in the week, which means we now know when we can expect to learn more about the game release schedule for all three major consoles in mid-June. Sony hasn't publicly announced or discussed its E3 plans yet, but according to the invitation, the PlayStation press conference will once again take place in the LA Memorial Sports Arena on Monday, June 15th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. As you can see, it's the invitation or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Sony clearly has hidden we don't have the artwork, so I can't say that. Sony clearly has hidden the number 2 among its iconic controller buttons, likely indicating that the company plans to celebrate the PlayStation's brand's 20th anniversary at this year's show. Without anything else to go on, we can only assume that Sony's big hitters such as Uncharted 4, No Man's Skies, and Until Dawn, which is a big title for them, as well as an assorted unreleased indie games will fill out the conference. But unless something leaks, we're likely going to have to wait till next month to find out what Sony has in store, which ties back into what Kaz was talking about.
Meh.
So,
yeah, we'll do this for the next 10 minutes. Meh. Meh. Goodbye.
Is this the first time we ran to do?
No. I'm just stalling. Oh, man. No, actually, I think this is the first time we've finished everything early.
Before the show was over.
Yeah, right?
This is also, I think, on the radio they call this dead air.
Wombat brings up a new thing. Wombat's plan.
Wombat's plan. We are still in discussion with Wombat's plan because there are some things we need to work out. But what we are proposing is Wombat actually has a server for Battlefield Hardlines on the PS4. Is PS4 correct?
Yeah, it's PS4 Battlefield
Okay.
4 Hardline.
So yeah, Battlefield 4 Hardlines. Wombat does have a server that he pays for the PS4, and he is inviting all of Styx followers and Styx fans. Please correct me if this is wrong, because the negotiation, well, not negotiation, but the buildings of this is still in the works. So we can come in and use his server for clan battles, or for just playing on a great server, and just having some fun with it. Basically, come and play with the Styx founders and the Styx members, and just
Minus me.
be one. You can be there in spirit. I'll name my character after you.
Yeah.
I'll name my gun after you. Okay, Kazan, let's shoot these guys now. Come on. Damn it jammed. But yeah,
That's what
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
No,
I
I
just-
said that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that to Kaz. I'm going to when I create my new Destiny character for the House of Wolves, it's going to be called Kazlan
There you go.
in his honor.
He's going to be a Titan.
Please
I
don't.
think I'll
Please
name
do not. Please
Fukin
do not taint my name with that
It's
piece
good.
of garbage game.
Yeah, it is going to be a big Titan, and it's going to say Fukin Fuka on it somewhere.
Right.
I'm going to name mine 341 Neil Zach.
All right.
Neil Zach. There we go. Neil Zach. I like that name.
I'm gonna name mine Save Point.
Retro is going to name his Carl's Papa.
All I gotta say is, Borderlands is better than Destiny.
Oh my God, get a grip.
All right,
So
guys.
the Wombat plan.
Yes.
Are we doing a? Are we going to have like a raffle, or what are we?
Honestly,
some
we
ideas.
really haven't figured that out yet. That's still in the talks. Basically, we need, because it is a limited number of people, we will probably have to do some sort of raffle to basically play on the server, and we'll have a rotation or something, depending on the outcome of what we have. I mean, who knows? Maybe only 3 people want to play. So
Well, yeah, we need to get with Wombat and see what Wombat is really willing to do, and maybe we can take suggestions, ideas from the chat as to
absolutely.
What we can do and how to make it even more interesting. Within, of course, Wombat's scope of what he's willing to do.
Absolutely. So I believe that just about does it for our show tonight. Thank you so much for watching us for the last 3 hours or so, listening to us ramble on about games and stuff like that. I had a lot of fun tonight. I hope you guys had a lot of fun.
What are we doing next week?
We're taking the
Oh,
same thing
yeah.
we do everything every night. Titch, try to take over the
we do
world.
every week. Trying to take over the
We
world.
usually talk about what we're going to do the next week.
I was getting to that.
Next week is Memorial Day weekend too.
Wow.
Look. Sid's thinking, like, we gonna be home?
I'm gonna be home. I'll probably be working.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna have burgers and burgers and hot dogs for everybody in chat. Okay, we're gonna have a cookout episode. Who knows?
I actually brought that suggestion up. I think it would be awesome if, I know it's expensive. I know I cannot pay for your plane tickets. I wish I could, but I think it would be cool if at one point in time, all of us, all the fans, were able to gather. I don't know, somewhere, and just have a Styx old-fashioned barbecue cookout. I think that'd be awesome.
Hey, maybe we could do it at a future con. Sticks get
There we
together.
go. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of future cons, the biggest one here in Orlando next year is MegaCon, which will be doing a full 4 days for the first time in years. So, well, the first time that I know of in their history of the convention. So, it'll be this month next year. May, yes, this month next year. I don't know the exact dates, but it'll be 4 days of MegaCon, and I am trying to convince Pandora to come and join us, as well as a couple other people too, as well.
We have, and I have PAX East,
Oh,
where I live.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's
That
another
would
big,
be-
another big convention.
Something
Yeah, it
definitely
is.
I want to do in my lifetime. Definitely, absolutely. Again, so that next I just hit 500 followers in my stream. I will be doing. I need to come up with a plan, and I will be giving away those Troy Baker, at least one Troy Baker album. And because the other one's Tich's to give away, but one Troy Baker album to give away, and a couple of the Troy Baker signed memorabilia as well. I'll be streaming as much as I can. Casla? Anything
Huh?
coming up?
No, I just got more baseball.
Huh?
Yeah, you pulled a Sid there.
Yeah, I know.
You wouldn't expect that.
I got more baseball. I have two games this week, and then next week we were supposed to have one on Memorial Day, but it seems like people don't want to have one. They would rather go to the cookout. So, oh. I'll probably be streaming some more during the week. Some Dota 2, City Skylines maybe a little bit here and there. I don't know. Witcher 3 comes out on Tuesday, so you never know.
Oh yeah, I'll be definitely doing that too, as well as House of Wolves. Titchery, what's going on with you?
We're
Rocking
gonna
the new hairdo, by the way.
Oh, thank you. We're going to be doing Witcher Wednesdays. I will be playing Witcher 3 on my PS4. I'm also going to be doing different Dark Tich games, of course, but mostly we're going to be doing Sims 4, and I will be doing more of the neighborhood. I actually have started a new neighborhood, the Styx Broadcasting neighborhood, where I'll be making all of the Styx founders and the stream team, and they will each have their own house. We'll make those live on stream. I will be building the neighborhood up. The DC and Marvel universes I've kind of put on the back burner because I've been having problems finding the costumes for them. So those have been put on the back burner. We also have the Followers neighborhood that I'll be working on. I'm doing raffles for that. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing. And to answer the question about when MegaCon 2016 will take place, between May 26th and the 29th.
Thank you very much. Pandora, what's going on with you, man?
Oh, you're gonna save
Bring
the
it to
worst
me.
for last.
What?
Say the worst.
No, I try to change it up every episode.
No, nobody wants to watch me stream anyway.
Well, that's true.
But I don't know. Nobody does.
You
But
didn't even catch that. Okay, I'm sorry.
no, I agree. No, it's cool. I agree. But anyways, I probably let's see. I do know I'm going to be working on some of the pages this week. I may try to get with you, Sid, and see if we want to try to do some multi-streaming for House of Wolves. What? Why are you interrupting me, man? It's rude.
Why? Because I can. Maybe if you dyed your beard pink, then you'd get some more people watching you.
Well, maybe
You
if
might, I
dye
might.
yours purple.
I told him if he dyes
Yeah.
pink, I'll dye mine purple.
Hey,
Well-
mine was pink at one time.
I think challenge accepted.
I'll dye mine black.
Yeah.
I'm not
But
dying.
I don't know. I'll probably try to multi-stream with you a little bit on some House of Wolves or something. I don't know. We'll get together on that, maybe with Tich or whoever wants to play. But I'm definitely going to be trying to do more of the pages and stuff and things if anybody cares to watch that. But that's about it, really. I don't know. I'm just going to have to see, you know.
Okay. To answer your question, Merv, the still working on the Minecraft server. I apologize. I wasn't able to work on it at all the last 2 weeks here, so it's just a time constraint for myself. It's very, very close to being finished. We just got to do a couple more things to start whitelisting people, and then start getting those emails out for the IP address and stuff like that. So it will be very soon. I can't say when, but it will be soon. So that does it for us tonight. Again, this is the Save Point Show you've been watching. Big shout out to all the Styx members. Big shout out to all of them. If I can type and talk at the same time, but I can't.
Follow train hype. Yeah,
Oh
we
my
gotta
gosh,
get
I
these
totally.
sticks, guys.
There we go. Thank you so much, Titri. Yes, so a big shout out to all of them. Big shout out to Kazan143, Titri Tich, your Pandora, of course, the founders of course, but also a big, humongous love and hug to all of our stick streamers. Brunhofer, Slim and M, KX89, Kim ST90, the Waffling Brit, Sambird23, the Real MRV Gaming HD, and always Stump_DK. And again, like I said in the beginning of the show, we are still scouring over the applicants. I apologize, we're being a little behind on that, but we do have a lot of applicants to look over. So we are trying to get through them as quickly as possible. And I don't know. We're still discussing more news on that stuff. So we'll get that done, and we'll get those emails out and decisions out to very, very soon. So again, we are Six Broadcasting. We're bringing you the Save Point Show. This is City 67.
Titchery!
Your Pandora.
Kazan 143.
And we'll always remind you, of course, each and every night, save early, save often. Good night, guys. I love you. That's me hitting wrong buttons.
Oops, it's never good. Oops.
Because I'll probably kill them. This one here? Oh, hello. Your old pal here, the Joker. Here to talk to you about Sticks Broadcasting. When I'm not out killing the bat, I like to just relax at home with a nice Chianti and my friends at Sticks. Because I'll probably kill them.